artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race.
It's a flying object, and we don't know what it is. I would hope somebody is checking it out.
It was a rocket or whatever, but incredibly fast, opposite direction. It was too fast to be an airplane.
I'm glad the Pentagon is looking at this, because if it poses a threat, I want them on top of it.
Well, the craft generates its own gravitational field.
So you said there's lights in the sky?
The internet has become the command center for criminals and terrorists.
911, what's your emergency? I need help, please help me!
Aliens won't let it happen. That's what we're instructed to say.
Roswell, Area 51. Alien kept deep under the ground.
1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 6, 3, 2, 9, 7.
Media doesn't have your best interest in mind. The government is self-serving. You're here for a reason. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. Broadcasting live from a secret bunker just off the extraterrestrial highway. Somewhere in the desert sands outside of Las Vegas. From somewhere in space-time, loosely labeled Generation X on planet Earth. And asking questions of you in earnest into the digital darkness. Good evening and welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange. And hello to all of you who might also have troubled minds. What's up, guys? It is Tuesday night, June 16th to be exact. I know the date for once, but that means we're live tonight. It means we've got things to talk about, important things. Well, maybe entertaining things. Maybe important, entertaining things. Hopefully, some combination of the two. But if you find yourself new here and don't know what's going on, this is a live radio show. And we do this on the internet so we can cut out the FCC, we can cut out the sponsors, and we can say whatever we damn well please. That's what this show's about. Among other things, aliens, conspiracy, the paranormal, the 24-hour news cycle, the government, the technocracy, major corporations, you name it. You name it. If we're not supposed to be talking about it, that's exactly what we're talking about. And we're going to do some more of that tonight. We've got some fun stuff on deck. I thought that it kind of in the, I guess you could say, in the spirit of the year, in the spirit of 2020, that I think it makes a little sense that maybe we should be talking about the end of the world again. So that's what's on deck tonight. That's the actual that's the show. You'll see. We have some Mayan 2012 prophecy kind of popping back up into the news here, which we'll do shortly, and we'll get to that at the second half of the show here. But yeah, some crazy stuff. We got some crazy stuff. And, of course, we'll tie this into some aliens because what good is a show like this if you can't talk about aliens? We'll have some aliens in there. But so the way this works is there's a couple things. I'll fill you in. We're going to do it like this. We're going to do shout-outs. And if you want a shout-out, we're streaming on YouTube and Facebook and Mixer and Periscope on Twitter. We're streaming everywhere. Twitch, you name it. If it's worth streaming on, if it's one of the big platforms, we're streaming on it. And go ahead and type in the chat where you're listening from. We'll shout you out. I know Timothy there got first, so I'm going to say Timothy before the chat scrolls up. We got a lot of chat, so it scrolls and I miss it. So yeah, so definitely good stuff. You guys want to shout out? Just type where you're listening from. I'll shout you out as we go. So we're going to do we'll do some shout outs first, then we'll do some news, which we always do, kind of keep it current and Maybe, you know, we look at the conspiracy angles. We look at the technocracy angles, the surveillance state. We look at free speech a little bit, things like this, right? Occasionally we shit on China. There's no China news tonight, so we're going to take a night off from shitting on China. Unless you guys want to do that, then, well, you're welcome to do that. And the way you do that, speaking of which, this show is live for this exact particular reason. We do it to include you. Basically, you can dial this phone number right here. It's right on the screen right now. It's Las Vegas area code, and it goes a little something like this. 702-957-1037. That's the phone number. You can call that right now. We'll put you on the show. We don't screen callers. You don't have to be Linda Moulton Howe and have a UFO blog to be on this show. You just pick up the phone and dial the number, and bam, you're in. And if you don't like the 702 area code, which is Las Vegas, like I said, you can join the Discord. It's kind of like a chat client, a voice client, and we use it to kind of include the international folks that don't like the long distance number there. So we have everybody covered. If you want to be part of the show, that's how you do it. You can find both the phone number and the Discord link at troubledminds.org. That's the official website. So there we go. That's how we start, and that's what the show's about. So we do encourage you chat along. I'll read as much chat as I can, but if you have to be on the show, that's the way to do it. You pick up the phone, you dial the number, bam, you're on the show. Easy peasy. Okay, so let's do some shout outs, and then we'll get to the news, and we'll get to the rest of whatever else. So yeah, like I said, Timothy, I think we had Nikki was a close second. The chat has scrolled so fast I can't even tell anymore. We have to do shout out sooner. I have to be less verbose here. So I'm gonna guess. Let's see. I did see. Let's see. I saw. Here's Kelly. I saw Rajesh. Actually, Rajesh, you're the new favorite Canadian. You got a promotion, just FYI. So there we go. Making up for last time when I was rude and said you were the second favorite. I lied. You're now the favorite Canadian. Rajesh, thanks for showing up. We got Kelly. We got Timothy. I know we had Elizabeth. We had. Who else do we have? We had someone. Again, it's scrolling by too fast. Once it scrolls, guys, I can't go back up. So, yeah, Timothy says, please share. Please share. If you guys are on Facebook, or if you guys are on have friends out there on Twitter or whatever else, just share. Let them know. Hey, come talk about these things. This is a like I said, a safe zone, a safe UFO, a safe conspiracy zone. No judgment here. We like to talk about the things and talk about include you, basically. So there we go. So yeah, do please share. Let everybody know that this is the place to be. At least I hope it is. It feels like it is for me. It feels like home. I hope it feels like home to you too. Okay, so let's see. We got, I said Elizabeth, Timothy. What's up, Robert? Let's see. Robert says there's something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. Absolutely. What's up, Kurt? Thanks for being here tonight. If I missed you guys on Facebook, just type it in again. I'll get you as we scroll here. What's up, Kurt? Timothy, I said hello. 2020 year of the dog, says Timothy. And yeah, that's the damn truth, isn't it? Let's see. What else do we got? Got the video for that song is awesome, says Joe. That old 60s tune. I thought about doing I think the thing is, right, you could make this show really cool if you did some even more cool, let's say, fantastic style, if you did some kind of mashups, right? But you'd have to, then you basically yield the entire copyright of all your work to somebody who wrote a 3-minute pop jingle instead of all your 3 hours of work. so I did one tonight a little bit. It was real lazy style, but I do have that coming. But yeah, I'd love to play that song, that old school stuff to kind of maybe bring the intros in and stuff. So yeah, anyway, there we go. What's up, Joe? We got Peter. No murder hornets. Not enough cortisol. No, apparently not. We got Sherry. Thanks for being here tonight. We got who else? On Facebook, still rolling. We got Dan. How you doing? We got who else? We have, let's see, China. Red Sky. What's up? I see you there. Oyo. Did you guys know? Speaking of Oye and Oyo, here in Las Vegas, there used to be a casino hotel named Hooters. Right? Everybody familiar with the Hooters brand? Well, yeah, Hooters in Las Vegas is no more. They changed the name to Oyo. Oyo. So, oye, Red Sky, you say. Oyo, I say in return, which I guess is probably some alien language that means Hooters. Something like that. Anyway, oye, what's up? What's up, Dan? Thanks for being here. Let's see. Who else did I get? Who else did I miss? Behead Joe. Whoa, be nice to Joe. Peter, I said hello to Peter. Let's see. Dan says I'm an alien penguin. All right, fair enough. Christopher, greetings, fellow Earthlings. How are you? What's up, Rajesh? Yeah, hell yeah. Cheers, buddy. Cheers, man. Let's see. What else do we got? Let's see. Peter says I love Hooters. All right. Well, we'll leave it at that. Justin Moon, how you doing, buddy? How you doing tonight? Thanks for being here. We got, let's see, Christopher, hello from Maryland, and let's hop over to YouTube. Eli gets first on YouTube. Thanks for being here tonight. Eli from Washington. We got Michael from Pittsburgh. How you doing? What's happening, fam? He says, how are you? Thanks for being here. We got Noe from Texas. Hello. We got Michael says, I like the acid trip intro. Yeah, it's a little weird, isn't it? It's a little bit weird. I'll tell you what I'm drinking. Hold on one sec. We'll get to that. We have no sponsors, but I do like a cold beer from time to time. So I do have show nights or beer nights, well, among other nights, but that's none of anybody's business, is it? So hold on one sec. Okay, so hello, as the noise factory goes on behind me here. Okay, so here we go. We got more. We got let's see, Michael from Pittsburgh. We got Penny. Hey, Penny from the UK. Thanks for showing up tonight. We got let's see, Eli. I said okay. Everybody's good. Oh, is that what that is? Is that what Oyo means? It's okay. All right. Let's see. Joe says Jesus is Mike taking his shoes off and feeding the goddamn goldfish while he calls out our names. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. We had some noise here. Red Sky says Hooters was very Hooterific apparently, but yeah, right. Oyo. They changed the name to Oyo from Hooters to Oyo, right? And so I was down there and I asked the guys that worked there. I said, can you guys explain to me what an Oyo actually is? This was right after the name changed. I happened to just be down in that area, stopped in because I saw the new sign and was like, what the F is this? I go in and I asked the guys right there up front if they knew what the hell an Oyo was, and they looked at me and went, that seems to be the question of the hour, and no, nobody really knows. so there you go. There's the update from Las Vegas in case you guys cared about the Hooters casino, hotel casino. Okay, so there we go. I think we're caught up on shout outs, but there it is. So we're doing our thing. We're going to talk about whatever we want to talk about tonight. Nobody here to stop us, right? Nobody to bring the internet down and say, shut up, Mike, shut up, fam, shut up, everybody. We're going to say what we want. So one more time, if you want to be part of the show, and I have a quick correction from last show. So we were talking about that little city, the autonomous zone, Chaz. Remember that? They now changed the name to CHOP. It means something else, CHOP, Capitol Hill, occupied, something or other. Anyway, so I said mistakenly that it was actually in Minneapolis. It is not. That Chaz and that little autonomous zone is actually in Seattle. So just a quick correction from, just to make sure that we're spot on here and, with our facts and, ish. So yeah, there we go. There's that, and just a correction. Quick correction. Sherry says, "Go bankrupt. Change the name." Is that you mean the Hooters? The Oyo? Yeah. Okay. That was again more of a stream of consciousness. I didn't really start the show considering we'd ever talk about the Hooters. But hey, here we are anyway. Okay, there we go. Yeah, all right. So let's do it. Let's get to the news. But one more time, if you want to be part of the show tonight, now's a good time as any. We have time for you. We do this long form intentionally because, like I said, I like to say this, and it's completely true. You can't really say much 5 minutes before a commercial, with a quick segment. And they're like, as soon as you really say, oh, hi, my name's Mike Strange. I like to talk about these things. And they're like, oh, thanks, Mike. Off to a commercial, and then you're done, whisked away into the digital ether, and they bring the next guest after the commercial. So no, we do it long form, and yeah, there we go. We do it for this reason. You can be on the show. We got time for you whenever you're ready. 702-957-1037. That's the phone number. Join the Discord. You can find both the phone number and the Discord at troubledminds.org. They're both on the top right, and there we go. So, okay. All right. Let's see. CHOP is the new hate Ashbury, says Robert. Yeah, maybe. That could be. Yeah, again, we talked about that kind of, it was not planned. It was just kind of came up in the conversation, as it goes sometimes, right? You don't really plan to say things, and they just come out of your mouth. It's weird. It's amazing. I only put my foot in my mouth 24 times a show and not 3. So, yeah, there we go. We started out with Hooters, so there's time number 1. You guys can start to count right now. If you guys have those clickers, every time I put my foot in my mouth, the little click, the counter, like they do at the umpires, have the strike 1, strike 2, click, click, click. Okay. Anyway, that's enough about that. Let's get into the news. If you want to be part of the show, there's the phone number, and let's look at the news here. This is pretty good stuff. I picked out some interesting things. Let's start with the sports news, right? We usually don't do sports news. We did the MLB, the baseball strike, and that whole bit, and how there was an actual conspiracy, right? Like a kind of a light corporate conspiracy, but they were kind of hiding their the ugly laundry situation that was going on, right? The bad look of people of the billionaire owners against the millionaire players. Anyway, that was another time. That was the only other sports news really we did. But check this out. This is interesting sports news. This is reported by ESPN.com, which again is, I don't know what the hell that stands for, but it's a sports network. Let's pull this up and we'll take a look. What the hell is this? All right, so this is reported by ESPN, and it says soul-snatching aliens blamed for players' lateness for training in Chile, the country Chile. Here we go. Former Argentine footballer Guillermo Moreno once turned up late to a training session and explained it was because he had been abducted by aliens. Ex-teammate Gustavo Lorenzetti has said the pair were together at a club-side Universidad de Chile under managers Jorge Sampaoli, exposing my Spanish, from 2011 to 2013, and Lorenzetti recounted Moreno's excuse in great detail. Quote, Guillermo is a friend who football gave me, like Mati Rodriguez, Lorenzetti told Lado B, which I guess is a Latin America news organization. He continues regarding this the story that Guille wants to tell me. The truth is that I doubt, because he's going to receive calls from channels of other information and not from sports, but I will explain it because he asked for it. He says that he arrived late to one training because he was abducted by aliens. He gave us the entire explanation of what he felt and the rest of it. There are cases where the player says, I left and I came back 2 days later because I was kidnapped by aliens. But Guille is not that kind of player. He's a very proper guy. So everybody knows this about him. He started to explain that he was suddenly lost and abducted by aliens. He explained that they took out your soul, analyze it, and all the while, on the journey, they are looking after you. He said something like that. And his teammate here continues, honestly, I believe in aliens. He gave a great explanation. We all have to believe him. I don't know other types of channels. We'll call him and so he can tell it better. But in any case, he was abducted by aliens. So there we go. I don't know if you guys saw this one. I thought, I was like, wow, we don't really get to do sports news, so let's do some sports news. I mean, it's rare that sports and conspiracy or sports and aliens kind of crash into each other, but here we go. Here we go. Tonight is a funny night, I guess. So we're going to start there. Sherry says, prove him wrong. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. Yeah, so he could have been at the club or overslept or, like on one of those Frank type benders where you take a little too much of some substance that's not recommended and end up, with some lost time, let's say. But no, yeah, prove him wrong. Prove him wrong. Peter says, probe the poor guy with the soccer cleat. Ouch. No, I hope not. Hopefully, he says they took good care of him. So that's a good thing. Let's see. Timothy says, if you have the balls to use it as an excuse, well, if I was your boss, no problem. Yeah, I guess. Peter says, can't win without your soul. Yeah, so I guess if they took his soul, well, yeah, who knows? Anyway, I thought it was pretty funny. Nice to start out. Like I said, every show has to have some sprinkle of aliens, and we're kind of front loaded here with aliens and back loaded. We're going to talk about aliens at the end of the night, and maybe how we're maybe calling in the eschaton. And maybe the aliens are part of this. So anyway, there we go. Fun one to start out with, reported by ESPN.com. ESPN, soul-snatching aliens blamed for players' lateness for training in Chile. There we go. There we go. Prove him wrong, says Sherry. She's right. Prove it didn't happen. Yeah, okay. All right. There we go. Funny. Fun stuff. All right. Let's move on to the next one. Let's do this. Let's see. I started a little bit late because my internet sucked, so I apologize to make you guys wait. But it is what it is. You can't control the technocratic censorship and takedowns of the free society. So what can you do? You have to do the best you can. All right. So here we go. Speaking of the technocratic takedown of a free society, this is reported by TheGuardian.com, and title headline: Not just nipples. How Facebook's AI struggles to detect misinformation. And automated moderation can be a blunt instrument, as users trying to post an image of Aboriginal men in chains discovered. So, as we talk about this, this kind of happened randomly. We've been streaming on Facebook ever since we started this show. It's been more than 2 years now, 2 years in April. So, again, like happy, good stuff. I'm glad we've been doing it for so long. And not been banned. So I know that's a good start, right? I think we've been shadow banned. I think our reach has been limited in many cases, but I don't think we've been actually banned yet. So that's a good thing. But what we did talk about previously that when they changed the interface here, the live stream interface for Facebook, it actually ended up that they were doing they were actually like hanging on my every word. Like I was getting like a real-time transcription of every single thing I said. So if you think the algorithms aren't out there 24/7 parsing information and data and all the rest of that, well, let me tell you something else. They are. Anyway, so here we go. So let's see. This is again, automated moderation can be a blunt instrument, and so it has a hard time telling nipples from not nipples, I guess. And then fake news from not fake news. Here we go. So it's the Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg made the comment. This comment: it's much easier to build an AI system that can detect a nipple than it is to determine what is linguistically hate speech. Yeah, here we go. Zuck said this in 2018 when he was discussing how the company tackles content that is deemed inappropriate, or in Facebook terms, judged to be violating community standards. Hi, Zuck. How you doing? Or whoever's out there listening. Thanks for hanging on every word. I appreciate that. It's good to be loved. Facebook's artificial intelligence technology for identifying nudity gets it right more often than not. Between January and March of this year, Facebook removed 39.5 million pieces of content for adult nudity or sexual activity, and 99.2% was removed automatically without a user reporting it. There you go. There were 2.5 million appeals against removal, and 613 pieces of content were restored. There you go. So I guess it's not it's not perfect. It can't catch nipples, all the nipples anyway. So here we go. I don't know how we did this. We're like again barely into the show where we talked about Hooters and nipples already. I tell you, it wasn't planned. Okay, but here we go. So it doesn't work every time, and the AI has had problems with historical photos and paintings. As Guardian Australia reported this week, a user was suspended for posting an 1890s image of Aboriginal men in chains in response to the Australian Prime Minister's claim, on which he subsequently backtracked, that Australia didn't have slavery. Okay, right? Of course, the hot button. We love to talk about stuff that happened 250 years ago, but this is, I guess Facebook doesn't like it either. So they're taken off. But interesting, right? So not just the AI, but that it's a 24/7 moderation feature that is literally real time. We've been taken down in real time before from either copyright stances or things we've said. So it's happened. It definitely has happened. You get a little better at kind of walking the line of what you can and can't say. I'm talking to you, Timothy, Tinfoil Timothy, with the Z word. Stop saying the Z word and you're safe. I don't mean zebra. Stuff like that, right? Like there's things you just can't say, right? Even discussing like a conspiracy aspect of something in particular, whatever it might be, if it crosses the line of the hate speech algorithm, adios amigo. So there we go. Let's read some chat here. What's up? You're the dog, like the whole world drank a fifth each of Mad Dog 2020. Oh yeah, what am I drinking? I forgot to tell you. Hold on, this is important. Speaking of Mad Dog, I'm not drinking Mad Dog. So I actually grabbed this beer from Costco, right? It's called, it's local. It's called Bad Beat Brewing, right? Kind of like a poker theme. Hoppy Times IPA, right? So I was like, I've never had it, right? So I grabbed a big old pack of this stuff. I was like, okay. So I threw it in the fridge, grabbed one right now, and this is my first sip. And I was kind of praying this wasn't going to be like a miserably nasty hoppy thing. And it's not. It's pleasant. It's very nice. Bad Beat Brewing, Nevada. It's drinkable. Cheers, guys. I'm glad it's drinkable. There we go. Sorry about that, Michael. You asked me a little earlier. I forgot to tell you. Okay. Back to it. Let's see. Yeah, artificial intelligence. Exactly. Like that's what we're talking about here. And again, they do hang on every word, and in real time. Like I get a real time transcription. They removed it now, probably because so many people complained, or maybe didn't like seeing their voice literally written back to them in real time as they spoke it, which is creepy as hell. But that's. Okay. So what's up, Kurt? What's up, Lemon? Thanks for showing up tonight, Lemon. Let's see. Never go against the agenda, says Timothy, if you're not prepared. And that's it. If you do the band hammer, that's completely true. What's up, Penny? Thanks for being here. Hello. Yeah, thanks for sharing, guys. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for letting people know about the show. Appreciate that. Okay, what else do we got here? Again, odd how this article is talking about nipples. It's not necessary. It's just not necessary, Facebook. You really got to do that. Okay, so here we go. Here's the next one. We got this is by Tech Dirt. This is a site that I found recently, and I think it's fantastic. They got all kinds of really good stuff on here. And it's hard for me not to talk about it now. So, because, when you report a bunch of good stuff that nobody else does, then, well, you got to talk about it. Techdirt.com, pretty good stuff. So this is kind of been in the news recently. We've been talking about it just a little bit. This isn't really kind of down our alley, the social stuff and the police and all this other business that's going on. That's the mainstream's news. We don't really do that stuff, but I think it's important to maybe note, look what's going on here. Reported by techdirt.com. Let me make sure we still have it up. Okay. Minneapolis City Council votes unanimously to disband its police department. So this was today. This was at 6:03 p.m. This just happened. This article just hit. So in response to one of its own officers killing an unarmed man, the Minneapolis City Council pledged to defund the police department, and it did this as the city burned, protests erupted, blah blah. It maintained this pledge as okay. So that blah blah. So it was all talk at some point, right? But not now. So it's now been put into action. The Minneapolis City Council unanimously passed a resolution intending to disband their police department and create a new model of public safety in response to the death of George Floyd. Terrible thing again. Nobody's behind that whole action, and murderous police should be held accountable. I'm sure we all believe that. But then these are some of the things that happen as a result. What do you guys think about this? About defunding the police? Do you think this is a step, maybe a step over, or do you think it was long overdue? How does this make you feel? Is this one of those situations where it's how the media does the division tactics and tries to make you be pro-police or anti-police or one way or the other? And anyway, so how will this work? It's still up in the air, but there's a lot to work with. Cops are asked to police everything, including many things that aren't specifically trained to handle, like misbehaving school kids, people suffering from mental health crises, and a variety of other societal issues like homelessness, interpersonal relationships, and wayward house pets. So there's tons of stuff here that is completely right. I think in many cases we ask police to do probably way too much, kind of beyond the scope of like actual police stuff. And they end up as mediators in domestic situations. They end up as keeping the public safe when you get runaway kids and they're picking them off of freeways. When these things happen, it's just weird, right? Like it's unbelievable. Probably the amount of things that a cop sees in like a regular 10-12 hour shift that the rest of us may never see in a lifetime. And so I think in some cases they are asked to do too much. But so how does this look now? So I saw some of this and some of the speculation on what was actually happening with this, and they were talking about maybe sending, getting like oddly enough, so if you defund the police, you're sending social workers to people's homes, right? Depending on what the call is. So they'll have like a 911 dispatches, not the cops, not armed cops, but maybe like a social worker instead, right? Or these types of things. So they're gonna have like a 24/7 social worker staff ready to go, and probably some of them armed, right? Like maybe an escalatory force or the intermediate force or whatever's going on. I guess that's what this will look like. So again, right? Does that seem like a police force light? Does it seem like the Bobbies in the United Kingdom where they show up with the sticks and without the guns? I mean, what is this? Again, how does this make you feel? How does this make you feel? What's going on with this? Is this again as more garbage? You think division garbage, or you think this might last and this is actual reform? I don't know. Like I said, this is kind of not really what we talk about, but I think it's a kind of interesting that if maybe this cascades and turns into a nationwide change, and then I guess we'll see. So this is not the only place. This is Minneapolis. I saw that there was another one. I think they were talking about it in New Mexico, that they're actually starting this as well. So they're starting like the social worker response team and training them, and this is already happening, right? So and they were ahead of the game apparently. So anyway, how do you feel about it? Like I said, I thought it was interesting. This is actually going down. They're going to really defund the police, and what do you think it'll do to society as a whole? I think that means. I think we can all agree that there's some bad cops out there that beat people's ass for no reason and do worse and murder people, right? But there's also a lot of good cops. So we're taking some bad cops off the street, but we're also taking good cops off the street. So how does that make you feel? How does that make you feel? I want to know. And if you want to tell me, 702-957-1037. We'll get off this in just a sec, but I just thought it was important to point out that things are changing. So if and kind of curious at what you guys think about it, then or if you don't, or if you're like whatever. Move on. Next. That's okay too. That's okay. You're allowed. What's up, JJ? How you doing, buddy? Thanks for showing up tonight. Let's see. Who else do we got? Let's see. Larry says, go for it. It won't be long for reality to set in. Maybe that's true. Dan says, 911, a guy is chasing me with an axe. Okay, we'll send a social worker to talk with him. Maybe, right? Yeah, I just, again, like I said, you can make jokes, and some of it's humorous, some of it's not, because who knows, right? Like, maybe it works better. Maybe this is a reform that was long overdue. So I guess we can kind of see, and hopefully, if there's some transparency in the process, which, again, what this show is really all about, the transparency in government and corporations and these monopolies and the dark money and all this other stuff. Like, if we can get some transparency and look at some of the actual police records of the actual beatings that happen and cops that get away with it, maybe this is it's long overdue. Who knows? So there we go. What do you guys think? I don't know. I'm not sure what to think about this. I think if it leads to better stuff, then better stuff is better stuff, and that's hard to argue with. So anyway, there we go. Too much time spent on that. Let's go to CNN. One of my favorites, the most trusted source in news. Yeah, there's the Darth Vader for you. Here we go. Let's go to CNN. This one's pretty good. Let's see. What's up, Mark? Thanks for being here tonight. Let's put this up. There we go. Okay, now this one, CNN. Now, I know some of you guys saw this. This was let's play part of this video so I can start drinking some of this bad beat beer. But this is reported by CNN, and CIA cyber weapons stolen in historic breach due to woefully lax security, internal report says. And so this was actually in 2016, I believe, 2017. Let's see. So here we go. The largest theft of data in CIA history happened because a specialized unit within the agency was so focused on building cyber weapons that an employee took advantage of woefully lax security and gave secret hacking tools to WikiLeaks, according to an internal report released on Tuesday. And this was the hacking tool stolen in the breach. Everybody remember this? It was called the Vault 7 leak. And apparently it was like backdoors into many things. Let's just watch this CNN video, because why the hell not? They were nice enough to do the work, so let's give them credit for the nice work they did here. This is us. There we go. Let's just watch. I'll drink beer. Let's watch. What'd I say? What's the term? 3, 2, 1, action.
Some of the CIA's most sophisticated and effective spying tools apparently pried open tonight with the help of WikiLeaks. The anti-secrecy group says it's obtained thousands of files, hundreds of millions of lines of code from the CIA's massive hacking operation. WikiLeaks says the documents show the CIA's team of hackers have developed malware to be able to hack into almost any device people use and can remotely control iPhones, iPads, Android devices, taking video from their cameras, listening with their microphones.
We should be worried if they're being used against non-intelligence targets. We should be worried if they're being used against Americans.
The CIA is not allowed to spy on Americans inside the U.S., but privacy advocates worry other agencies may be using the same tools. WikiLeaks says there's one CIA hacking operation called Weeping Angel that can even tap into an enemy's Samsung Smart TV.
They can turn my TV into a spying device? What happens when I turn it off?
When you turn it off, it's not actually off. A lot of people remember the little red light.
Right.
That means there's still a computer in there, and it's listening for the remote to call back again to turn on. Otherwise, it wouldn't be able to do so. So what the CIA can do is they can latch into that, and even when the TV is off, they can still listen to the microphone that's in the television. They call this fake off.
WikiLeaks says CIA hackers can bypass encrypted messaging apps like...
I think I had to stop. They call it fake off. You catch that? You catch how close that is to... Never mind. Let's keep going.
Signal or Telegram, just by cracking the phones themselves. According to WikiLeaks, the CIA explored the possibility of hacking into the software of modern cars.
It can be accessed from outside and perhaps taken control of. And this can let you do a whole lot of things, from playing the music to taking control of the car entirely and crashing it if you want to assassinate somebody.
WikiLeaks says the CIA uses the U.S. consulate in Frankfurt, Germany as a secret base where CIA hackers spy on people in Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. The White House and the State Department wouldn't comment. The documents released by WikiLeaks have not been authenticated by independent experts, and the CIA says it won't confirm their existence. WikiLeaks says some of these hacking techniques would allow the CIA to mask their hacking to make it look like someone else did it. One former CIA analyst says if this claim is true, WikiLeaks has dealt a significant blow to U.S. national security.
Every time a place like WikiLeaks blows our ops, it means that the bad guys evolve and they use countermeasures to defeat the abilities of the United States to spy on them and to track them, to target them, and so forth.
Oops, there we go. I'm off my game today. My mute button is all over the place. This beer is a little bit more delicious than I thought, so I'm off my game. But what can you do? Okay, so here we are. So what do you guys think? Did you catch that? So it's been said, right? It's been said that the CIA has the ability to tap into these electric cars, right, and be able to maybe disable your brakes or steer you off the road. This guy just said it right there in the video, right? And some of these tools, part of that Vault 7 hack or actually stolen data is huge, and some of this information, right? So not only is it we all know, everybody knows that it's built into your smartphone at this point, right? Everybody knows this, but your smart TV. Did you know that? We've talked about that in the past about how it's you think you're watching it, but it's actually watching you, like this type of information going on. But what else? There's some other really cool stuff in this article. Check this out. And I say cool, but which is disturbing, let's say. So the hacking tools stolen in the breach, which occurred in 2016, came from its clandestine Center for Cyber Intelligence, CCI, Center for Cyber Intelligence. The amount of data stolen is unknown, the memo said, but could be as much as 34 terabytes of data, the equivalent of 2.2 billion pages of text. The theft was revealed around a year later in March 2017 when WikiLeaks published what it claimed was the largest trove of CIA documents dubbed Vault 7, detailing some of the agency's sophisticated cyber weapons, which was first reported by the Washington Post. So I guess if the entire goal here is to spy on foreign what you call them? Foreign not Americans. So it's illegal for the CIA to spy on Americans, but nicely they have tools that makes it very easy if they wanted to do so. So and we all know the CIA is terrible with their actual transparency. So. And then the FISA court, this whole bit, who knows, right? Like, who knows what's really going on here? I think some of these FOIA documents, maybe getting to the bottom of this, they're not giving it up. The government's not giving it up. Anyway, how does this make you feel? Like the guy said, the CIA can actually tap into your car and make that shit crash with you driving it in like an assassination type of thing. So yeah. I'll tell you what, I don't have cars that steer themselves, I'll tell you that. I've got old cars that don't have any of that shit built in, so intentionally even. So call me paranoid, call me smart maybe. That creeps me out. I don't want my car to be able to just left turn at 90 miles an hour. No thanks, not happening. So if it's going to happen, it's because I did something stupid, and I'm not in the business of doing something stupid. But yeah. What's up, Paul? Thanks for showing up tonight. But okay, how does this make you feel? Again, Vault 7, like there was a ton of information, but since it was leaked by WikiLeaks and whoever stole this thing, this amount of information, that means that these tools, these cyber spying tools or whatever they are out there in public now. So that means that hacker groups can get a hold of these things. Like, so imagine this. So if they're spying on you through your smartphone, we already know this, right? Like I kind of mentioned it in a previous show that we should probably put together a box of like a little sealy box that you could put the phone in and close it, and it's kind of like like cuts off the communication and cuts off the microphone, like soundproof box, like that type of thing, right? I think these are the types of things we need to start looking at if we want to be able to maintain our privacy, and then not buying smart TVs. Like that's the thing. Spyware is now sold as a feature. If it's listed as a feature, it's totally cool, right? It's totally cool. Or is it? You tell me. So anyway, how's this make you feel? The CIA may or may not be spying on you. Yeah. What's up, Too Fast TJM? I see you there on YouTube. Thanks for showing up. I don't think I called Pittsburgh. Eric from Pittsburgh. I think I missed you, man. Are you up there? Are you here? Eric from Pittsburgh. Testing 1 2. Check 1 2. Eric, how you doing, my man? Okay, let's go. Let's keep going. Let's see. Timothy says, Mike, you paranoid? Well, that scratch on your license plate should fix it. Can't see the sticker, and you're low on milk in the fridge. Yeah, maybe right. William says Alex Jones has been talking about this years ago. Yeah, this is not new stuff. But again, right? These aren't things. So why is this not front page news the world over? Right? Like, hey guys, The CIA has hacking tools that could actually do like spy on you through your television set, right? Or actually crash your car while you're driving it, right? They have these things already set up, and they're in these nice little package that have been stolen and distributed to hackers the world over. So it gets worse, doesn't it? It gets worse. Now you don't have just the government with all the best tools. You have everybody with all the best tools. So yeah. Okay, so let's see. Robert says eBay fired 6 executives because they sent a package of live cockroaches and spiders to a woman who wrote an article critical of eBay. That's pretty solid. I didn't know that. Let's see. Kurt says, damn near can't buy anything but a smart TV. That's not true. They still exist. They're like the cheapies. Like they literally like notice the one with like the big screen. But for whatever reason, it's cheaper than all the rest. It's good. It doesn't have all that shit built into it. That's why. Well, at least, wink, wink. They say it doesn't. So Timothy says, I saved old TVs. You mean those old ones like the square ones that are heavy? You can barely pick up to break your back. Remember those old ones where you actually had to like grunt to pick up like that? Yeah, no longer. Yeah, you can do it with one hand now. But yeah, okay, let's see. Larry says, you have a 67 Impala with an arsenal in the trunk. Monsters are real. Hell yeah, I'll tell you what. Let's see. JJ says they also said they can hack anyone and put anyone else's fingerprints on it, and I think those are some of the concerns we should have with, well, not just with that, with like these DNA databases too, right? So kind of if that's the case, and DNA kind of ends up being the end all be all of like crime scene investigations, and they have a database of all your DNA, right? It makes you very easy to frame and get off the streets. So that's pretty tinfoil hat style, but tell me they haven't thought of that. Tell me somebody in the CIA hadn't been like, oh, we'll just put their fingerprints and their DNA all over a crime scene, right? 3D print your fingers and just grow some DNA in a lab, spread it all over a crime scene. Your fingerprints from little 3D printed fingers, and bam. How can you contest it, right? In a court, you're good as done. Yeah. So again, right? Like super tinfoil hat stuff here. Like how much do you trust the government? I guess is the question, and how much do you trust the CIA, right? The CIA. Anyway, Vault 7, and it's back in the news because of the breach happened because of woefully lax security. Okay, which makes no sense, right? The CIA. Woefully lacks security. Okay, anyway. Here we go. Maybe some of you saw this. This is pretty cool. This is reported by Inverse.com as we move along here. Moving right along. All right, so here's what we have. Let's see, make sure we've got the thing. Yeah, okay, full screen. All right, so here we go. Inverse.com. Got to find aliens, NASA is looking in the Nevada desert. Remember, guys, say this correctly. It's Nevada. It's not Nevada. Don't say it that way. It's like saying Oregon. Don't do that. It's not that. Nevada, right? Nevada. Like you're a truck driver with the trucker cap. Not Nevada. Don't say it that way. To find aliens, NASA is looking in the Nevada desert. A dried-out lake bed in Walker Lake, Nevada, is a Mars analog, unlike many others on Earth. So this is pretty cool. So the launch window of July 20th, August 11th, 2020 to Mars. But before it lands on the red planet, a team of scientists behind the moon mission must test out Perseverance's capabilities right here on Earth. So a team of 7 scientists from the Perseverance mission headed to a dry lake bed in Walker Lake, Nevada, earlier this year because the landscape is similar to Jezero Crater on Mars, which is the destination for Perseverance. So the rover operations activities for the science team training, or ROASTT, because you can't do anything in the government without a ridiculously long acronym. The rover operations activities for science team training, or the ROSTT, took place in February 2020 and provided a source of responsive data for the upcoming mission before its launch. The team was roaming the desert for 2 weeks along with 2 camera rigs and portable spectrometers while carrying out commands from a remote team of more than 100 scientists around the world as they were giving commands to the rover on Mars. Right, wink, wink, Mars. And so remember, we've talked about this in the past about maybe, there's the tinfoil hat conspiracy, the really deep conspiracy. Did we actually go to space, right? Is NASA a real thing? Never a straight answer. And maybe this is where they're sending these things and we're getting the footage from anyway. It might be the Nevada desert anyway. Who knows? I'm just kidding. Everybody relax. Okay, so what makes a good Mars testing ground? So the dry sedimentary environment of lake bed that was Walker is quite similar to the Jezero Crater on Mars, which we said. It was once believed to have been flooded with water, and because there's no very few plants, because plants are bad, because you don't want those in the disturbing the soil. You kind of want it to be very Mars-like. So anyway, pretty cool stuff. Check out the article. As always, I love when people write good articles, and it's. I think that's part of why we do this too, because you have to point out when you get like actually good stuff too. We shit on the media quite a lot, but there's some good stuff out there. So yeah, just FYI, have a look. Inverse reports that they're actually out there and testing the rover in the Nevada desert. So pretty cool stuff out there in Walker Lake, Nevada. So anyway, how do you guys feel about that? How do you feel about tonight? How do you feel about the end of the world, which we're going to talk about tonight? Because, well, it's 2020, and again, we're about halfway through, right? Maybe summer's about to hit or just hit or something like that. But it's kind of been a shitty year, right? Yeah, I think probably by many accounts. Maybe some of you had a good year, but I think for the most part, it's kind of been shitty halfway, all the way around, let's call it. So there we go. But we're going to talk about that, the end of the world, and some biblical prophecy. Maybe we're going to talk about the Mayans and how maybe their math may have been incorrect on that December 21st, 2012 date, which maybe their math was off by about let's say it's really next week, the end of the world. Well, anyway, we'll talk about that in a sec. That's what's on deck tonight. We're going to talk about the end of the world. Do you guys feel like this year is the end of the world? Do you feel like this is just kind of a speed bump, and we're just going to keep on trucking and life goes on? What do you think? One more time. 702-957-1037. Give me a call. Click the Discord link. You can find both the phone number and the Discord at troubledminds.org, and we'll talk about whatever. What's up, Wayne? Thanks for showing up. I see you there. Okay, let's see. Larry says, did anyone feel weird when they dumped analog TVs and you had no choice but cable? Maybe. Did I? I'm trying to think. I don't think so. I don't think I felt weird. I think that's the problem, right? So as they change things, everybody's so stoked for the new technology, you don't feel weird. You don't feel suspicious, but yeah. Yeah. Timothy says, 2020, the year of shit. If we all live, sell T-shirts. Sherry says it's year zero. Yeah, maybe, right? We're going to talk about that tonight. Timothy, I survived 2020, and I'm only mostly dead, I'm not yet on the FBI's 10 most wanted list. Yeah, okay, here we go. Now check this out. This is a Starlink.com. Everybody knows about these Starlink satellites, right? With Elon Musk. Check this out. This is pretty cool. So they're actually taking signups for a beta test of their internet service. And so the idea is, right, they're putting satellites up, and it's going to be like a wireless internet thing. Like many UFO reports have been actually Starlink satellites like this. The groupings of those tiny satellites that are kind of floating around, and people are freaking out and reporting it. Well, right there on Starlink.com, they're actually starting to take signups. So get updates on Starlink news and service availability in your area. And right there from that link, you can actually sign up and be one of the first to beta test if it's in your area, this internet service. So they're starting to roll out the actual internet itself, and the idea is it's supposed to be able to, instead of running wires and cables and like the infrastructure to get high-speed internet in places in the world where it's difficult to get to. They're saying that Elon Musk and Starlink they're saying that this is a situation where they can provide internet to anywhere in the world, just about, based on the number of satellites in the sky. So it's kind of been shit on a little bit by the astronomers of the world, because you have these things kind of cluttering up the night sky. Now we're going to be seeing UFOs like crazy because it's these satellites apparently. So who knows? But anyway, sign up for this. I signed up because why the hell not? But you just put in your email here, your zip code, your country, and hit submit. And then if it's available in your area, I guess you'll get a beta invite, and you can maybe try out their Starlink internet. How cool is that? That's pretty neat stuff. So there we go. What else do we got? Let's see. Robert says, let's see. Pretty good comment here. Am I the only one in the world who refuses to own a cell phone? Yeah, probably. You're probably like of the final few, let's say. The final countdown. Yeah, it's bad. Larry says, didn't the Mayan calendar refer to the end of the age, not the world? Correct, but we're going to get there. Don't worry, we'll get there tonight. Sherry says, Earth is going through a wormhole that was formed in 2012. Yeah, there's that. Remember that Nick Hinton theory, where he says that the world actually ended in 2012, and we're just kind of living in another universe, another spin-off, so it actually did die. The world exploded or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, we did a whole show on that in the past, and it's fun to talk about. Let's see. Dan says, no, I refuse to own one, so I just steal mine. Oh, you mean a phone? Then you have to sign it up, right? And then... Anyway, never mind. Okay, never mind. What's up, Todd? Thanks for showing up tonight. Let's see. Wayne says that the Holy Grail must be changing hands. Who knows? Yeah, maybe, right? That's a good idea. I never thought of that. We'll get to the biblical stuff, so we'll get there in time as we roll on here. Robert says, "What's up, Robert? Thanks for being here tonight. I don't own one either." There we go. So we got two people who don't own a cell phone. There we go. That's two. There's a less than a one-man army now, more than a one-man army. Okay, so here we go. Now check this out. I thought this was pretty interesting. Got more of the technocracy, censorship type stuff. This is reported by TechCrunch.com, which is not a terrible site. Let's read what they had to say. So Google kicked Zero Hedge off its ad platform and put the Federalist on notice for racist protest content. Now, did you guys see this is going around Twitter like crazy? This is brand new. This is June 16th today. And they're talking about, okay, so if anybody doesn't know the way Google ads work, everybody sees them pop up, right? But as a publisher, you put up your website, you put up the content, and then you can sign up the little ad boxes on the right side or whatever. And then Google spyware finds the best they know your search history and all this stuff, and then they tailor specific ads to you. So you ever wonder why you said something like I'd like to get a toaster oven, or you searched for toaster oven, more like, let's not say you said it out loud because that's getting a little tinfoil ad, but Facebook that listens to every word I say, but let's say you type in toaster oven in Google, well then you'll see from the consumer's end, you'll see toaster oven ads, right? That's just a normal thing. And so from a publisher's end, they have put up their website, they put up the ads, and then by tailoring ads to the people that come to the thing, you get a higher click through, and everybody's happy because the website gets paid because they get a cut of it, and Google gets paid because they do their thing, their spyware thing. But anyway, interestingly enough, this is going around today. Let me read some of this. So Google is booting online far-right website The Federalist from its ad platform for publishing content about the ongoing protests against police brutality that violated the company's rules around content that promotes hate. As NBC News reports, Google determined that both The Federalist and right-wing website Zero Hedge violated its policy against monetizing content that promotes hatred, intolerance, violence, or discrimination based on race. So when a page or site violates our policies, we take action. In this case, we've removed both sites' ability to monetize with Google, a Google spokesperson said in a statement to NBC. Interesting stuff. That there's more here. Like there's the plot thickens. It's not as easy as that because apparently. So now here's the update. So okay, let me explain what happened. So, and actually, let's go to this right here. So, Google says this: our policies do not allow ads to run against dangerous or derogatory content, which includes comments on sites, and we offer guidance and best practices to publishers on how to comply. Okay, now this is critically important. So, this is not actually talking about things they put up on their website. This is talking about users that log in through their Google platform, or let's say even through Facebook, or there's all kinds of different actual there's a Web 2.0. Everything is social. So if you put up an article, there's a spot for people to comment underneath, right? And so this is actually, it says right here, which includes comments on sites. So think about this. If you really hate, let's say CNN, or Fox News, let's just call them both out. If you really hate one of those sites, and then you just get your buddies to flood, or let's say a clickbait farm from who the hell knows, to kind of crash their site and just say a bunch of ugly, disgusting things, then Google actually has the ability to demonetize that site through their ad platform. Yeah, that's what it says, which includes comments on sites. So how exactly are you supposed to police comments, especially when, anyway, so that's what happened. It wasn't things they were actually publishing, right? Because they know when you're a publisher, you know what you can say and what you can't say, what you can get away with, what you can, especially when you have huge traffic like that. They're making tons of money through Google AdSense is what it's called. So why would you risk that by posting really stupid shit? Okay, it turns out that wasn't the case. Okay, so now the update here is Google says on the update right here on the TechCrunch article. So update: Google is either walking back its own statement or disputing the report from NBC News. In a statement to TechCrunch report provided by Google spokesperson Krista Muldoon, the company said the following. To be clear, the Federalist is not currently demonetized. We do have strict publisher policies that govern the content ads can run on, which includes comments on the site. This is a long-standing policy. Google also said that the issues with both sites arose from content in their comments section violating its policies against dangerous and derogatory content. So it sounds like the Federalist was actually issued a warning that it will face demonetization if it doesn't remove the content, while Zero Hedge was previously warned and did not fix the policy violations and was demonetized. But ask me how fair that is, right? Isn't there like a clause where if you put up a website and somebody like uploads, let's say a murder video to like YouTube, that YouTube can't be held accountable for that, right? Because they take it down as fast as they can, but because somebody else put it on their platform, they are not held accountable, right? There's some sort of like I can't remember the name of it. It's like there's like an actual, it's a thing. It's a law. It's the thing that basically allows these websites to operate, because there's no way you could run like this if every Yahoo that came on and said something stupid on your website in the comment section, they take you down or demonetize you, right? Well, that's what's happening here. And so I think one of the craziest parts about this is we're talking about Google, right? Like, have you read the YouTube comments? like probably one of the most toxic places on the internet is like the comments on freaking YouTube, which, by the way, is owned by Google. Hello. So you know what I'm saying? It's like this whole deal of tell me this isn't targeted. Tell me it's not targeted, right? So let's all go on some people's sites and leave some shitty comments. And notice on Troubled Minds there's comments disabled and nobody can leave comments. So yeah, but we're not monetized anyway. But you see, right? Like somebody uploads something terrible and bam, you're down forever, right? Especially if you're relying on that money to live, or pay employees or these other things. So yeah, I mean, awful, terrible. Yeah. Okay, so there we go. I wanted to point this out. This is happening today. One more time. Google says our policies do not allow ads to run against dangerous or derogatory content, which includes comments on sites. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. But again, go check out the YouTube comments section and you tell me. All right, so I did have some shitty internet getting started tonight. So explain this to me. This is going around, right? This is kind of going around through some of the what you call it? The zeitgeist of let's say QAnon and like the conspiracy theory networks, right? It's kind of going around that there was a DDoS attack on T-Mobile, Facebook, Fortnite. See what I did there? Fortnite. That's what happens when you read while drinking a beer. So a sudden widespread outage in online services has some worried America is under attack. Yeah. So I don't know, right? Like Monochrome there. If you're out there listening, we were having a chat on Discord last night and talking about this Q stuff and that there's supposed to be 3 days of darkness and some other stuff going on here. A huge DDoS attack for T-Mobile, Facebook, and Fortnite. So what's really happening here? So let's read some of this. This is from news.com.au. A suspicious amount of online and communication services have gone down in the United States, leading some to suspect a coordinated attack designed to disrupt. Reports have been flooding in about a number of services having problems, including the country's third largest mobile carrier, Facebook and its related Messenger and Instagram platforms, and the popular game Fortnite. The issues have been persisting for several hours, but a tweet from an account that claims to represent the global hacking group Anonymous has people thinking the situation is very serious. So here we go. This is from the tweet right off Twitter, whatever you want to call it, is anonymous. This U.S. is currently under a major DDoS attack, and it's got like this map here, and with like a bunch of, looks like maybe DDoS computers coming from different parts of the world, like Russia, Africa, Australia, China, South America. It's all over the damn place, right? So who knows what's actually going on here? So the map comes from the website Digital Attack Map, which tracks the top daily DDoS attacks worldwide. So a DDoS, many people know, is a distributed denial of service attack, designed to disrupt a web page or service and deny access to the people who actually want to use it. So what they do right? You get a bunch of it. That's why you put this this spyware that kind of lays dormant on people's computers. It kind of turns into like a zombie type of computer that you could use as part of a network, like a DDoS network. And so if you want to bring down, let's say you wanted to bring down Troubled Minds, the website itself, you would get a DDoS network and you would hit it with a bunch of traffic, so much traffic that the website would go down or would be inaccessible to real traffic that actually went to check out the content there. So that's the way that DDoS works, right? But I don't know if you can do that to like a huge kind of something with a huge infrastructure like T-Mobile. I don't know. If anybody can chime in on that, if anybody knows a little bit more about that than I do, then please call. I'd love to hear from you. And what do you think about that? Do you think this is 3 days of darkness, or do you think this is much ado about nothing and just some normal hiccups or whatever's going on? So here we go. So it says the flood of traffic at the website experience was as hundreds of thousands of people needed help. Set off the DDoS warning bells, but it wasn't an actual attack, they say. While the map shared on Twitter is scary to look at, there's also some perfectly normal reasons it looks like that, according to cybersecurity blogger Marcus Hutchins. So Malware Tech blog and Twitter at Malware Tech blog says the site shows a random sample of global DDoS traffic badly plotted on a world map. It does not indicate an attack against the U.S. It lacks context to make any inferences at all, other than DDoS attacks are happening all day, every day. So yeah, I don't know. Has anybody had their cell phone go down or any of the rest of this? I thought this was interesting because it's it kind of ties into some other conspiracy theories. I didn't know this, but again, Monochrome shout out there on Discord was telling me last night that there's supposedly going to be 3 days of darkness when they sneak out and get all the pedophiles of the world, right? Something like this. I don't know. I don't follow Q. Maybe some of you do. I don't know what's up with this. Is it related? Is this just much ado about nothing? Clickbait. Yeah, more clickbait. Who knows? Anyway, you guys know what to do. Give me a call if you want to talk about it. I'm going to put a phone number and then we'll keep on moving. And then we're going to get to the end of the world. Got a couple more articles here, and we're going to talk about the Mayans tonight. We're going to talk about 2012. We're going to do a little bit of time travel, but not the way you think, right? Yeah, a little bit different. We're going to talk about some biblical plagues, the plagues of Egypt. We're going to talk about how maybe some of that fits into this year, 2020, and recent things, recent bizarre weather. So yeah, hang tight. We're about to get there. Got a couple more articles here to talk about, and we'll touch on that. But that's what's on deck tonight. That's what we're going to do. And let's see. Some of you guys with your comments. Let's see. Timothy says, make them isolate you in a hotel near Hooters. Hey, it's called Oyo now. It's called Oyo, man. There's no Hooters hotel in Vegas anymore. Sorry. Yeah, Oyo. Okay, Kurt says it's just diluting the net with mass info, but we got so much redundancy built into our internet. I highly doubt they could pull that off anymore. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it seems a little bit suspicious that it's a tax, right? It's a tax. It's anonymous from like a supposedly confirmed anonymous account, but again, right? Anonymous is supposed to be kind of like not like a particular group. It's everybody. So I don't know. You tell me. Kind of like 4chan or 8chan or 16chan or whatever the hell it is anymore these days. I have no idea. But okay, there we go. Let's see. Okay, let's read this. Phys.org reports this, and then we'll finish this up, and then we'll move on. Got 2 more to go. Hang in there with me. We're going to get to this. We'll do some Mars stuff, and then we'll get to the end of the world. Well, maybe the end of the world. Phys.org reports this. phys.org, as in physics. As many as 6 billion Earth-like planets in our galaxy, according to new estimates. Okay, I'm going to say that again. This is by the University of British Columbia. As many as 6 billion, with a B, Earth-like planets in our galaxy, according to new estimates, right? In the Milky Way. As many as 6 billion, they say. Okay, so to be considered Earth-like, a planet must be rocky, roughly Earth-size, and orbiting a sun-like star, which would be the G-type is how they describe it. It also has to orbit in the habitable zone of its star, the ranges of distances from the star on which a rocky planet could host liquid water, and potentially life on its surface. So think about that. 6 billion with a B in our galaxy is the new estimate of actual Earth-like planets, the Goldilocks zone, approximately the same type of star, approximately the same size as Earth. Yeah. What's that tell you about life in this galaxy, guys? What does that tell you? Yeah. You can read the rest of this on your own. There's a lot of good stuff here. As usual, like this is a great site. We talk about this all the time. But what do you think that says about life and the maybe the little green men that fly here in spaceships from Who knows where? What does that tell you? It tell you there's a lot of possibilities, right? I think for sure, for certain. You're not here if you don't believe that that NASA's pulling a fast one, or the things that they tell us are a little bit wonky. I think that's why you're here. That's why we're here talking about this stuff, because, well, it's a really big universe, isn't it? And we're not even talking about that. We're just talking about the galaxy. 6 billion Earth-like planets, according to the University of British Columbia. Yeah. Timothy says it tells us that we're screwed and release the murder hornets from another galaxy, right? Robert says power, that's all that really matters to them. Yeah, speaking about the government. And the murder hornets. Okay, here we go. One more, and then we're gonna get on to the end of the world. So here we go. Let's do this. Let's play this real fast. And, well, let's do it. Let's finish this up. So this is reported by the BBC. Everybody loves the BBC, especially you folks in the United Kingdom, right? You're a number one source in propaganda, the most trusted source in propaganda, the BBC. If BBC, if you're out there listening, you want me to do a commercial, I'll do it. Actually, you just got it. You just rip it off. I just did it. Okay, so there we go. So this is reported by BBC. Mars, there was a green glow detected on the red planet. Did you guys see this? It was pretty cool. So scientists have identified a green light in the atmosphere of Mars. So let's see, make sure we're full screen. Okay, yeah, we are. All right, so a similar glow is sometimes seen by astronauts on the space station when they look into Earth's limb, LAMB. The glow comes from oxygen atoms when they're excited by sunlight. The phenomenon has long been predicted to occur on other planets, but the Trace Gas Orbiter, the TGO, a joint European and Russian satellite at Mars, is the first to make this observation beyond Earth. So, it's a nice result, says Dr. Manish Patel from the UK's Open University. You'd never plan a mission to go look for this kind of thing. Today, we have to be very clear about the science we're looking at before we go to Mars. But having got there, we thought, well, let's have a look. And sure enough, it worked. So they got kind of like a green glow that's kind of happening when when oxygen atoms are excited by sunlight. You get this green glow that they've observed on Earth. But now, there you go. What are they saying? Oxygen atoms on Mars. You guys remember Randy Kramer, the Marine on Mars? How he said there was oxygen on Mars? Well, clearly there is, but is there enough to breathe? He said there was enough to breathe. So, well, All right, so there we go. Any comments on this stuff? You guys know what to do. We talk about all of it as we go. We talk about this, that, and the other thing. And if you guys have comments on any of the news, you have show feedback, you want to just say hello, you know what to do. Just give me a call, 702-957-1037. That's the phone number. It's a Las Vegas area code. You can join the show by going to troubledminds.org and clicking the Discord link as well. It's a chat and a voice client, and you can get on the show that way. And that's what we're going to do. What's up, Johnson? Oi, oi. I see you there on Discord right now, matter of fact. So there we go. If you want to be a part of the show, that's how you do it. And I just checked Discord. Nobody's there. And Let's see. Timothy wants to know if the observation of the green spot on Mars, the green in the atmosphere, was made before or after the line of space coke. Asking for a friend. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Good Martian Kush, right? That's the Frank joke from the old days. Okay, so there we are. One more time, 702-957-1037. If you want to give me a call, it'd be fantastic for me to get a chance to drink some beer and catch up. I'm not even half a beer in, guys. That's so bad. I got started late because the internet was slow and I couldn't pull up the links. And yeah, so I get started late, which means I can't really drink beer when I'm hustling to get shit right, So, yeah, there we go. So we got Kurt wants to know, is Joe not calling in tonight? This is usually where Joe calls in. So, hey, Joe, you're up, buddy. Or anybody else. It doesn't have to be Joe. Anybody else, give me a call. I'd like to drink some beer. If not, we'll play some music and do our thing, and give me a second to gather my breath and my thoughts, and then we'll keep on moving, talking about the end of the world. Speaking of the end of the world, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's see. Oh, Sherry scared Joe off. So, all right, no more calls from Joe. Okay, anyway, 702-957-1037. Let's play this. This is really short, and this is, again, like I said, you play this little thing, as some band monetizes you, and then your whole 3 hours are shot. I mean, not really, because we're not going to monetize this anyway. But you make good stuff, and you're able to play some things. This is what we're talking about tonight. This is about 8 or 10 seconds worth. So let's play this to kind of get the mood going, and then we'll let me drink some beer. I'll pour another one, and then we'll keep on moving here. So this is now.
It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine.
But how do you feel? Because I feel pretty fine as well. So there we go. That's what we're talking about tonight, the end of the world. Here we go as I, open up another one. And let's do this. Let's talk about that. Let's get to the end of the world. Go ahead and monetize that REM. Fine song, so I can't really complain. Okay, so let's do this. Let's get to the end of the world. And what brought me to this? Okay, so I was looking at some of the news and some of the things we hadn't talked about. And if you guys remember when UFO Joe Murgia was on the show, fine guy, he lives here in Vegas. We had a great talk. But in the beginning of the show, I kind of said that when I was young, I had this fantastic hardbound book. Okay, and it talked about all kinds of crazy things, like the crazy things that we love to talk about on this show, which includes, of course, spontaneous human combustion, which we haven't got to yet, UFOs, of course, the paranormal, ghosts, werewolves, vampires, right? All of this type of thing. But I also mentioned, right, there were bizarre phenomena like frogs falling from the sky, right? Things like this. And I was like, wait a minute, yeah, let's do something like that, because it's something I haven't looked into in years, and why the hell not, right? So the more I started looking into things like this, the more I started seeing a connection in the news that seemed a little bit, I don't know, what would you say? Harbinger of doom style, right? Which, of course, nobody's making the connection because, nobody's as sick as I am. But it kind of made me think, wait a minute, like what's going on here? So anyway, here we go. We got some stuff that happened recently that makes you go, it should anyway. Let's see. What else do we got? Let's read some. Joe says, I can't stand my own voice. There we go. Okay, fair enough. All right, so here we go. Let's start with this. And then I almost, if I had more time, I would have done a red rain tonight. I ran out of time, but I was going to do red rain tonight as well. But let's see. Where do we start? Let me see here. Let's pull this up. And let's start with, let's start with a little bit the Bible or... No. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with this. Let's start with, because I talked about the Mayans, right? So here we go. This is reported by Curiosmos.com, which is a fantastic site. I share a lot of their stuff on Twitter and on Facebook. But check this out. This is pretty cool. There we go. All right, so this is exactly what I was talking about from previously. Hot in here. It is hot in here. I'm sweating like a dog. All right, here we go. Okay, so Curiosmos.com. Now check this out. This is so again we let's actually, as I keep this up, we're gonna do actually I got a call coming in and we'll get to this in a sec. Let's take this phone call and then we'll get to this. So there was a mistake, they say, that the Maya calendar actually didn't end in 2012. There was a mistake with the Gregorian calendar and some missing days, and so 2012 was actually 2020, which happens to be next week, by the way, the date that this happens. So anyway, we'll get to that in just a second. See that maybe this is the end times. Maybe next week is the end of the world. I'll give you the exact day. I'll give you the exact time. Well, I don't know if there's a time, but yeah, well, I'll give you the day, and then we'll do our thing, and we'll talk about the end of the world. So here we go. Let's take this phone call, and we'll keep on moving here. You're on Troubled Minds with Mike. What's your first name and where are you calling from?
This is President Xi. I just want to say, prank call.
Oh, yeah, you're the amazing. You're the amazing. You are the amazing. Anything actually relevant to say? Yeah, I didn't think so. Wow. Amazing. All right, well, there you go. I stand corrected. Apparently, well, anyway, end of the world. I guess it is the end of the world. Thanks for the amazing phone call, because you are the amazing. All right, so let's go back to this. So the new theory says the Maya calendar cycle that ended in 2012 is actually happening in 2020. Now here we go. So here's why. So the number of days lost in the year due to the shift into Gregorian calendar is 11 days. Okay, so for 268 years using the Gregorian calendar from 1752 to 2020 times those 11 missing days equals 2,948 days, all right? So now 2,948 days divided by the 365 days of the actual year that we have, including the leap year, equals 8 years. So following this theory, June 21st, 2020 would actually be December 21st, 2012. And the math is off. Does that date ring a bell? December 21st, 2012? Yeah, there we go. So as it just so happens, let's go back. Let's go back and find out what that 2012 hysteria was all about. And here we go. We have a couple explanations, and then we have a bad prediction clip, and then we'll keep on trucking here. So this is what the Maya long count Bach tune. Remember all that, the long count calendar, and how it kind of ushered us into the age of Aquarius and the rest of this. All right, here we go. Here's part one of the Mayan long count calendar and that 2012 hysteria. Action.
The film shown on the museum's huge planetarium screen examines myths and rituals of the ancient Maya in southern Mexico and Central America. It focuses on the Maya calendar, or long count, which was divided into baktuns of 144,000 days each.
All Maya kept the same ritual, solar and long count calendars, using them to describe the past and foretell the future.
On some surviving calendars, everything ends on the day equivalent to our date of December 21st, 2012. Carolyn Sumners, vice president of the museum's Department of Astronomy and Physical Science, supervised the film project.
There's an alignment with the center of the galaxy on December 21st. It just happens that the Maya 13th Baktun starts on December 21st, at least in some of the calendars, and just enough going on to make one want to wonder, is it all connected?
But the film makes clear that the Maya were not necessarily predicting catastrophe.
Okay,
Sumner says the end of Maya time periods generally were regarded the same way we look at such things as the start of a new century or a new millennium.
It seems to be a cause for celebration.
See that if you pause for more than 2 seconds, I freak out and start talking. So his pause was just a little bit too long. Okay, so there we go. There's the first part, right? So there, I've got the links to this stuff. As always, all the sources I use will be in the YouTube description box, and you guys can follow up on me. Again, don't take anything I say for granted. No, do or don't or no. Just don't believe a thing I say. How about that? And do follow up on me and check the sources, because I do my best to not just make shit up out of thin air. And so I do have a source on this, and you can find it there. When this show's over, it'll be on YouTube in the description box, and there we go. So there's part one. We've all heard this again, right? The whole Mayan thing, like supposedly the long count calendar is when the universe or the galaxy lined up in just such a way that there was supposed to be some sort of a changing of the age, right? Like a movement from where we were to where we are, right? To where we're going, like the age of Aquarius, this type of thing, right? Whatever it was supposed to be a change, and some people said it was the end of the world. Some people said it was all these other things. Well, yeah. Let's go to part two of this, and then we'll see what they said about the actual the bad predictions. Which, of course, if the date was correct and it was December 21st, 2012, well, we're still here, aren't we? I mean, we could do the rabbit hole and say that the world ended and we spun off into a black hole, and maybe it was CERN that. Remember, we did all that in a show in the past, so we're not going to do that tonight. If you want to look at that, we did a show on that in the past. It was talking about the end of the world, and or did the world end in 2012? That's not what we're talking about tonight, but it is relevant because we're talking about the Mayan long count calendar, and then some biblical prophecy we'll get to a little bit later tonight. So here we go. Let's part two, the Mayans, and how the long count on the calendar goes, and maybe how, again, back to if the math was off because they used a different calendar, the Gregorian calendar, that actually December 21st, 2012 is this week, is about 6 days from now. It's on Sunday, which would be the new end of the world. So here we go. Here's part two of this, and we'll continue talking about this as we go. Action.
There doesn't seem to be the indication in the Maya writings of great disasters. They did believe in the end of time. They talked about great floods. All these things were discussed, but they didn't tie them to the long count.
The great Maya cities.
To bring audiences into the world of the Maya, Sumners and her team went to 4 sites in Mexico and Guatemala to shoot extreme wide-angle video of the ruins. They employed computer-generated images to show what those sites might have looked like centuries ago when they were the centers of great Maya achievements in mathematics and astronomy. Visitors to Houston's Natural Science Museum can also see Maya artifacts on display. Curator Dirk von Turenhood is developing an even larger exhibit for next year to coincide with the end of world date.
It's a combination of all kinds of sources of information that we are pulling together to tell the story of these, the Maya culture, ancient Maya, colonial Maya, modern Maya.
The Maya civilization collapsed more than 500 years ago, probably because of environmental changes that undermined its agriculture. But Maya people still live in the Yucatan Peninsula and parts of Central America, and many have immigrated to Houston. Researchers have used their knowledge of modern Maya languages to decipher the ancient hieroglyphs, and many top experts in this field are at the University of Texas. Von Turenhood says they offer valuable insights.
These ancient voices are speaking through these very few individuals who can read and decipher Maya writing.
Von Turenhood says ancient Mayan sites continue to provide new information about the mysterious ancient civilization and its achievements. He says the museum's goal is to show people there is much more to the Maya than a spurious prediction of doom.
Okay, there we go. So we have how does that make you feel? Okay, so we got a good couple good. We got Joe Collin. We'll take this in just a sec. So some good comments we got to read just before that. Kurt says that man's arrogance trying to replace God. Play ball. Yep, and Kelly says, no, man, the Mayan were never off. They had the most accurate number system in the world. I don't think it's that they were off. I think that what we're trying to say here is that they tried to equate it to our calendar and line it up, and our count was off on their days, so that we had the 2012 date wrong, and it's now 2020. June 21st, I believe, 2020, something like that. Yeah, so anyway, we'll get to that in a sec. I'll go back and get you the exact day. It's this Sunday, whatever day that is. Sherry says it's the Mayan calendar. Can't go by our calendar. It's completely different. Agreed, but again, like I said, they try to. Anyway, we'll get to the rest of that, and we'll keep on moving right after this. Joe from Florida, you're on Troubled Minds with Mike. How you doing, my man? How you feeling tonight?
Not too bad. Hey, how you doing, Sherry, and the rest of the crew? So every year, my wife now, but when we dated, every year for Christmas, I get a planner, a daily planner. I just posted 2 pictures up on the Discord because I didn't know if I could post them here. So this is kind of satire, but I have a 2012 Doomsday Planner. Why do I keep it? Well, because sometimes I'll put passwords in there or documents, and I would look back in there just to have like redundant written backups of passwords before I've changed them anyway. So curiously enough, I can read some jokes out of it, but I turned to one of the pages, and in April of 2012, it talks about Mayan or Mayanomics. It makes fun of everything. But I looked at the picture, and I'm even through the book, and there's a picture of Donald Trump. I put it on the Discord, and the way they spelled it was Tycoon. As a joke, it says Tycoon was a mythical trickster demigod who routinely got away with shortchanging I-RS, pretty much. Known for his strange headdress, shiny pyramids, and legions of apprentices, he was a folk hero to Mayan taxpayers. Some historians theorize Tycoon may have been a merchant who lived in the early classical period, but most agree that his persona and exploits are too ridiculous to be true. And that's just going into April. But I'm curious what I'll find. They have a picture of the Tao in a stone glyph. And these are people that just wrote this as a joke. But the stone glyph of the Tao is an arrow going down. I'm just kind of flipping through this as I'm talking to you. But it's just odd. I mean, they make fun of Nostradamus in here. What do I think? I think they were pretty accurate. Probably. I mean, if they sat around all day, there was no pollution in all night, they probably had a good look at the stars and were able to see it and predict it. They made fun of everything in this book. It's a satire on it. Obviously, 2012 didn't happen, but maybe it is happening now. Maybe it's a change in consciousness. You know, I read all that with monochrome, last night. It was pretty interesting. Trying to find some other goofy stuff in here that won't here. So they have something that's like dooms dates of futures past. Y2K, in the year 2000, many people believed computers worldwide would stop functioning because they weren't programmed to deal with years that didn't start with 19. The fact that computers worldwide routinely stop functioning several times every day and can usually be coaxed back into usefulness by hitting a restart button in little to calm frayed millennial nerves. And there's a symbol of a guy snorting coca, the symbol for the only demigod more jittery than the caffeinated mocha. That's what it says here. And then for proof of alien visitations, it has a picture of Michael Jackson, but his letter is JX. And then there's one that's G-GA, which is Lady Gaga. And then there's a B. Somebody take a guess at this. There's a picture of a face. It's an actor. It's B-UUZI. Who would that be?
I don't know.
So
I don't know. I'm not fast.
Space cases and gods. But anyway.
Wait. So who is it? Who is
just curious. Gary Busey.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to see the calendar. It's ridiculous that you're calling this out, and I still have this calendar. And, it's a satire on the whole 2012 thing here. But wouldn't it be the shit if something like this was going to happen? I guess eventually somebody's going to be right.
Yeah, okay. So also with that said, so what do you think now? So everybody, we kind of agree that the Mayan calendar was, according to science anyway, the people who've studied it, it's one of the most accurate long count calendars in history, right? So if they're right on, do you think it's possible we miscounted and maybe next week is actually that big day?
It's possible, and there's other questions too. I mean, quite honestly, when there's a little paragraph here, and I don't know how true it is, but theoretically, or in history, I guess, the Mayans just disappeared. And then in part of this book, it says there was some speculation that because the Mayans appeared suddenly from out of nowhere, a fully formed society with extensive knowledge of time, space, and advanced mathematics, then vanished just steps ahead of the conquistadors. They were themselves long-term extraterrestrial visitors, but that's just silly. Unless on their way out, they crash into the Bermuda Triangle. That's the way the book is, that's one of the comments in the book. So, I don't know. That society supposedly just disappeared into the forest, just like Easter Island.
Yeah,
so
that's
who
what
knows?
they say. That's what they say, yeah. And I see that most of the stuff that when you read about the Mayans and how they disappeared, it was that they say it's because it was drought or climate change and all this other stuff, right? But of course, all that's based on the information they have, they don't really know. I think that's the thing, right? That's part of why we do this show, because the history of the world is probably this, but we don't really know. Yeah.
Well, so I'll leave you guys. I'll leave you guys with this one. Pretty stupid, but whatever. 7 habits of highly successful Mayans. Set realistic goals. When life gives you avocados and make guacamole, if you meet a stranger wearing a copper hat and looking for gold, tell him about the shiny fountain of youth over in Florida. Keep your Incas close and your Aztecs closer. Remember, it's a jungle out there. No, really, it's an actual jungle. Happy life. Am I right, fellas? And don't be around in the 16th century. So, anyway, it was an amusing book in 2012, and it's making me laugh when I read it now, just because it's kind of like a Far Side kind of goofy thing. But
no, fantastic.
It's a serious conversation.
It's weird, right? Some of the bizarre synchronicity, right? I didn't think we'd ever really kind of go back and be talking about December 21st, 2012, and the Mayan long count calendar and the Bach tunes and all this stuff. But here we are. It's 2020. It's pandemic year. We got all kinds of whack shit happening out there, and we're talking about the Mayans again. So, some things refuse to die.
And is it the Mayans? It's the Mayans, I think, that have the plate that they theorize is the guy in the rocket ship. I think it's the Mayan. That big, it's like a door or whatever. That's got the picture of the guy in the rocket. They suspect he's in a rocket, playing with machines, and there's flame coming out of it. I believe it's the Mayan. Somebody out here is listening to it and knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I've seen it on Ancient Aliens. It's like some sort of carving in stone where it's the guy appears to be like flying some sort of rocket ship. He's got maybe an oxygen tube and like a helmet and yeah. I can't remember exactly where that was from, or if it's Incan or Mayan or whatever. But yeah, definitely that part of the world. I'm sketchy on the details, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
But anyway, thanks for putting up with me. This is a fun subject. I do have to get to bed, or I'd stay up and poke more fun at everybody here and there. But definitely a good subject. And the other thing I wanted to let you know, on a side note, that Hegelian dialect little episode you did, I'm really shocked about the amount of people that don't listen to it. My boss listened to it and was like, that's exactly right. And that's exactly the shit we're going through. But if I have friends and family that can't sit to watch 8 minutes of something, you got to fucking tell yourself you're lost. So.
Yeah, that
anyway,
YouTube video that we played the clips on. Yeah. I can pull it up when we can.
Yep.
I'll pull it up. We'll put it in the notes of this show just so people can find it. The ones that didn't see. But yeah, there's a lot going on. Like, and again, right? Like 1968 was when that happened. We've got a lot of parallels that are very, very similar, and history repeats. And if we don't learn our history, we're condemned to repeat it, right? Yeah, definitely. Good
and we're
stuff.
not. They're killing it. They're destroying it. They're rewriting it. So, anyway, good night, guys.
Peace, brother. Thanks for the call. Joe from Florida. Stay safe. God bless you and the family, my man. Have a good night. Thanks for the call. There you go. Now we have a non-troll call. So now we're 1-1. So if you guys want to tip it over to the non-troll side, then you know what to do. Give me a call. 702-957-1037. It's just like that. You call, talk about whatever you want to talk about. What do you think about this Mayan thing resurfacing, the 2012, that they weren't off, we were off, and kind of like lining up our calendar to theirs, and we missed some days because of the leap years and this or that or the other, and so for whatever reason, it was off just enough where next week, or this week, Sunday, actually, is supposedly going to be the Mayan December 21st, 2012, that end of the cycle, the end of the Baktun, that was much hyped and established in 2012, right? So anyway, we'll talk about that as we go on, and some more really weird shit that kind of maybe lines up to some biblical prophecy and the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, or is it 5? I don't know. I lost count. My scripture is rough. Sorry, guys, it's rough. But yeah, okay, there we go. What do we got? Got some comments here. There you go. If you guys want to call 702-957-1037, go to troublelines.org, the official website. Click the Discord link. You can be on the show that way. Bam. Let's go. All right, let's read some comments and we'll keep on moving. Let's see. Robert says, the world ends when you go to sleep. The world reassembles as you awaken. There you go. Sounds like fantastic philosophy to me. It's like the sound of one hand clapping, right? Did you guys know you could do that? The sound of one hand clapping? Let's see. Hear that? The sound of one hand clapping. Yep. It's not what you think. It's actually one hand clapping. How about the tree falls in the forest and nobody's around to hear it? Does it make a sound? Yeah, okay. There we go. They're armchair philosophy. Good stuff, man. Thanks, Robert. I'm not saying that's a good thing. What I said is a bad thing. Sherry says at straight up noon there will be a shadow. Yeah, so that's the thing too, right? So so think about this, and this is kind of what I was thinking about. Is if we end up in like darkness, and I was thinking about the biblical plagues, right? So if we end up, there was actually like 3 days of darkness in the biblical plagues, which we wouldn't get to in a little bit, but so 3 days of darkness is exactly what that Q thing was saying, right? According to Bailey, which is we talked about this last night on Discord. If you guys want to check it out, join the Discord. Lots of good discussion going on there. Sometimes it's pretty quiet, but other times it's popping, and there's people sharing really good information. So do check it out. Join the Discord. Even if you don't have to talk, it's not a voice thing. If you don't want it to be, you can just chat. You can type like old school chat programs. But there's a lot of good information shared in there. So that's what we were talking about, right? Like, so this the world DDoS thing and the Q thing, and like supposed to be 3 days of darkness, of internet darkness, right? Maybe that's the parallel that we're looking at here, is that 3 days of actual darkness, or who knows, right? That crazy stuff. Let's see. Who else? What do we got? Read some more stuff. Robert says, on June 21st, 2020, all who refuse to own a cell phone will be raptured. Yeah, well, sometimes you got to take one for the team, man. We appreciate that. Thank you. You and Robert going down. Okay, let's see. Yeah, great call. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate you calling in. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So, and Sherry says last day of the week is Thursday, and yep, I mentioned this months ago. So yeah, maybe this is what's really happening here, right? I don't know. Again, I don't have the answers. I'm not the answer man. I'm the question man. We're here together asking questions. So whatever you think. Again, if you have comments and you want to talk about this one more time, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. You can find both at troubledminds.org. But let's keep on moving here. So let's go to exactly this. So that's the new theory. All right, I linked it. I'm going to link it one more time just so we're on the same page here. Again, so the new theory is the Mayan calendar didn't end in 2012. It's actually happening in 2020, and it wasn't their mistake. It was our mistake. Okay, because of the way we do our leap year type of thing. So they were correct. We were wrong, and so they're saying one more time. So the number of days lost in a year due to the shift into Gregorian calendar is 11 days. For 268 years using the Gregorian calendar from 1752 to 2020 times 11 days equals 2,948 days. Okay, so now that number divided by 365 days per year is 8 years. Okay, so following this theory, June 21st, 2020 would actually be December 21st, 2012. Okay, so you see what I'm saying here. Let's see what I'm saying. I don't know if the math checks out. So here we go. So there's an individual that actually came up with this, and what's his name? Hold on, let's see. What's his name? Okay. I want to point this out too. So this is reported on the Sun.com, right? And here's, as usual, many times there's sources that go up and then they get taken down, right? They're no longer live. So here we go. So this is the link. I just put it up. You guys can check it out. So this is End of the World 2020 Conspiracy Theory Calendar, right? The Mayans and the whole deal. It's gone. This is gone. This article that they put up was gone, which that original article sourced this article, and now it's gone. But, well, we've got the Wayback Machine. So we can actually, like the internet, as they say, is written in ink. So you can't put something up and expect it to get away with it, because here we go. This is the actual article. And let me link the archive so you guys can check this out and actually follow along if you desire. So here we go. We have the actual article that they sourced and where the information came from. So let's look at this. Okay, so the year 2020 has been pretty terrible so far. Okay, but now a conspiracy theory is claiming the world will end next week. Okay, so Apocalypse Now. Mayan calendar was wrong and world will end next week. Bizarre conspiracy theorist warns. Conspiracy theorists. Again, the Mayan calendar was not wrong. How we adapted and interpreted it to our calendar was incorrect. Okay, just to be sure everybody's on the same page here. So most of the world started using their Gregorian calendar back in 1582. That's the calendar we know today. However, before this, people used different calendars to keep a track of dates, included the Mayan and Julian calendars. Okay, so we have different calendars that we're looking at and talking about here, and this is where the difference comes in. So the Gregorian calendar was introduced to try and better reflect the time it takes Earth to orbit the sun. The leap day, leap year every 4 years, everybody knows. However, 11 days of time were said to be lost from the year that was once determined by the Julian calendar. So that's the whole deal. That's the math that we talked about. So this catastrophe was initially predicted for May 2003, but when nothing happened, the doomsday date was moved forward to December 2012 and linked to the end of one of the cycles in the ancient Mayan calendar at the winter solstice in 2012. Hence the predicted doomsday date of December 21st, 2012. Well, now, apparently, this is incorrect. No, it's apparently 2020, and it's this Sunday. So there we go. Maybe this is the lead up of this year, of this shitty year, is the culmination of boom. Baktun rhymes with boom. Boom. Who knows? Maybe we're done. Maybe the world ends. Here we go. I'm linking this. This is from Coast to Coast. And all this stuff is hot today. Like, all this stuff is like, it's coming today. And the source actually was from a particular individual that tweeted this stuff, and then he deleted the tweets, and he deleted his account. And he was an actual scientist from I'm not sure exactly where, but I couldn't find the tweets, so I did find the articles here instead. So we have some people picked it up because they got, again, from the Sun was the original source. Then Curiosmos, and now we have Coast to Coast pick this up. Viral doomsday theory claims Mayan calendar actually ends next week. All right, well, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna blow through this, and you guys can check out some of these sources yourself. But what do you think? What do you think? Is this the right thing, or is this not? Is this not the right thing? Is this just come on, Michael Strange, get the hell out of here? What are we talking about? What the hell are we talking about here? So here we go. There's a few articles kind of talking about the same stuff. We got the CEOmagazine.com. We got the Pedestrian TV, more conspiracy theory. And again, right, like if you have as long as you throw conspiracy theory in the article or in the title, well, it's just garbage, isn't it? It doesn't work. It's not the same thing. What's up, Timothy, on Periscope? I see there. He says, what about leap years? That number should be divided by 365.25. I think that's what they're saying, though. So that one calendar actually took into account leap years, but the other did not. So here, back to the math. I'm gonna put this up, and you guys can read this, and you can follow up the article. Again, math is not my strong suit, especially on a live stream. Like Frank always said, never do math on a live stream. You'll just look like an idiot. So here you go. There's one more time I'll read this, and we can move on. The number of days lost in a year due to the shift into Gregorian calendar is 11 days. For 268 years using the Gregorian calendar, that's from 1752 to 2020 times 11 days equals 2,948 days. That many days divided by 365 days a year, which actually accounts for the leap year and the shift from the Gregorian to the Julian calendar, equals 8 years. And then following this theory, June 21st, 2020 is actually December 21st. There you go. So there, I linked that again if you want to check the math. Again, I can't check the math right now because, well, I can barely speak and drink beer at the same time. So yeah, there we go. So here we go. This one's at newsculturalcollectiva.com. This is actually a Brazilian site, I believe. CC News. Here we go. I'm going to link this and you guys can check it out. But yeah, pretty good information here. Like whether this is real or not, we're not in the answer business here. We're in the asking questions business. So what do you think? What do you think about this? Do you think that there's some sort of correlation between what's happening in this really terrible year, that maybe the Mayans had it right and we miscalculated when the day was, and the day is next week, and it culminated in Donald Trump being president in the election year, and riots happening, people burning down Wendy's, and with the pandemic and people not allowed to go outside, and everybody's wearing masks like bandits, like everybody's a Pancho Villa. Like, what the hell's going on, right? Like we're literally living the upside down, right? I've said this many times on the show. I still stand by it. It seems like things seem to not be progressing properly. and when I mean that, slow down. Proper, of course, is subjective. Maybe you think that burning it all down and releasing a pandemic on the world is proper. I don't. So maybe we can agree to disagree there. But I don't know. So anyway, it's there's no answers here. We're asking questions. So here we go. The New York Post also reported on this, and let's put it in. What's up? Bongmancer on YouTube says Mad Max finally. We're at the end. Fiend, El Fiend at the curtain. The curtain drops. Yeah, maybe. Timothy says Space Force is the answer. Sherry says space will be affecting us on a massive scale until February. Wait, time travel February backwards or till next February? Because I mean, so we're assuming now that the end of the year or the end of the world isn't next week. I don't know. You can't break the narrative, Sherry. Come on. The end of the world's next week. We're rolling with that for tonight. Okay, so here we go. Reported by comicbook.com. I'm going to link this so you guys can check this out. And there's the sources. There we go. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're doing. And let's keep on moving. So what do you think? There's the theory, all right, that kind of got me on this. And it started with red rain. It started with rain falling from the sky, okay? So let's finish this up with a clip of at least the Mayan portion of this, and then we'll move on to like the biblical stuff, okay? But so here's how they said that 2012 was a bad prediction. Let me play this clip, and then we'll keep on moving and get to the biblical stuff and some other really bizarre things, weather and some other really weird shit that's been happening recently even, and many places the world over, and then we can kind of equate them to some scripture, some of the plagues of Egypt. So hang tight. Let's finish this up. Action.
It's time for bad predictions.
In 2012, some people had a very interesting thought.
Excuse me, did anyone notice that the Mayan calendar ends on December 21st of this year? Meaning the world is going to end?
Yikes! Well, first of all, a calendar is simply a way to organize our days. Various cultures from all over the world at different time periods have created their own calendars. Just because one ends doesn't mean the whole world has to also. For example, the calendar that's hanging on the wall at your house has a last date on it. Does that mean the world ends then? No, it just means it's time for a new calendar. Also, according to experts, there are no rogue planets hurtling towards the Earth, no dangerous asteroids en route, no possible planetary alignment that would trigger a series of global natural disasters, and our magnetic field takes thousands of years to shift, not thousands of seconds. Plus, these predictions have been made many times in the past, and guess what? We're still here. So there's no need to panic or start giving away your personal possessions. Well, except maybe some outdated calendars.
For more information, please visit smv.org.
There you go. smb.org is the source on that. Pretty good stuff. But what do you think? You think it's a bunch of hogwash, like they said, or something else? Again, so 2012, again, I'm looking at the pictures on Discord that Joe put up of that 2012 Doomsday Planner book, and pretty good stuff. So Ash, what's up, buddy? If you're going to be on, Ash says he's in the caller queue, and he's not. He's fibbing to me. Oh, now he's in the caller queue. All right, let's go to the caller. We're going to go to Ash, the reptilian from Mars, and we're gonna hear what he has to say. What's up, Ash? You're on Troubled Minds with Mike. How you doing, my man? What is on your mind tonight?
Man, guys, Mike, it's good to be back. How's everyone doing? My mind is troubled.
Amen, brother. Amen, brother. You're in the right place then. Preach.
No,
preach, preach, buddy.
Yeah, you're talking about the end of the world. I mean, 2020 is a nice round number for that. So it's kind of crazy. This has been a crazy year. You know, every time we've done anything, I've mentioned that it's been nuts. It's only getting crazier as the time goes on. And yeah, I like kind of frequent some of the more, let's say, deeper conspiratorial circles. And I think like each one of those has their own kind of spin on what's going on, and it's kind of like apocalyptic, right? So some of the Q people are saying that like that Majestic 12 account, they're saying that, you know, Trump is the last president, whether that's like the apocalypse or the end of an age. And there's like a book, it's called The Adventures of Baron von Trump, that was supposed to be written by a time traveler.
Ingersoll Lockwood. Look it up, guys. Ingersoll Lockwood, the end of it was 1890, something like that, when he wrote these books. And yes, he was called The Last President. It was The Adventures of Baron Trump, something like that. And they had the guru, and that was called Donald. We did a whole show on that in the time travel episode. But yeah, go ahead. Just do it. Just to fill in the gaps there. Fire away, sir. I was about to mention that, but that's what you're talking about. Go right ahead, sir.
No, yeah. I mean, that's one of the ones I want to touch on. I actually just ordered the book on Amazon. I just got it. So I'm going to look through myself and see if there's any like legitimate things in that book. You know, could be BS, but I could have sworn there was a part in that book that didn't exist before. It does now. Something about underground adventures, and there's supposedly we're clearing out underground bases. So anyway, I don't know if that's true. I'll take a look at the book. I'll report back, see what I see. But yeah, apparently it was like made by a time traveler, went back and was trolling basically, and kind of almost leaving a breadcrumb trail. And supposedly Trump is like the last president, and Majestic 12 talks about that, and that like we're going to convert to a new, I hesitate to say new world order, but like a new planet, like a new infrastructure system, political system, economic system, and even in like the economic world, there's rumors of like a financial reset, some sort of financial reset, because our current system is on a trajectory towards death, and they just keep pumping money to keep it alive. So anyway, that's like a whole rabbit hole if you guys want to go down that. You got David Wilcock. Those guys are talking about a solar flare, which is like an end of an age, and that perfectly aligns with the end of the world. And there's supposedly some sort of events where your karma, like a solar flare goes off, and it your karma within you like nukes you or not, depending on if you're a bad boy or not. I'm not exactly sure, but
that's a rapture.
And that's
man.
based on
that's biblical rapture right there. You
and
ascend,
it's
or you
apparently
don't.
it's in a couple of different religions, right? Like that's at least that's what he's claimed. I haven't looked into it. But yeah, the rapture, right? And they say in all the religions that like the good guys get to move on and the bad guys don't. And then if you go deeper than that, and you start looking into alien stuff, it's kind of like this planet is like a prison system, and we all have souls and stuff. And we basically, you know how we all dropped a bunch of prisoners in Australia? So it's kind of like that. Like the troubled souls or the immature souls get thrown here, and every once in a while, there's something called like a harvest. And the Book of Ra or something. Some Egyptian text talks about this, the Book of One, and Wilcock references this. And that every once in a while, we go through a harvest where they come and, just like the Christian text says, they take the good people who've kind of passed and who have gotten to the next level, and then everyone else kind of gets put back into darkness. And that could be just like them literally like resetting the planet with floods and stuff again. And every like 10,000 years they do this, they like reset the planet. And that's why we like see ancient civilizations and all this stuff. Those are just past harvests. And and then there's the other alien thing that says that we're going to move forward and like basically integrate with aliens and it's going to be utopia. I don't know. But anyway, I just thought I'd share some of those.
Wait.
Craziness.
And you skipped over Project Looking Glass, didn't you? Isn't that like intertwined with Q and the Trump time traveler thing too? We got Looking Glass as well, right?
Yeah, and Looking Glass is basically like literally everything I just said, I don't know. I don't know. Right. So, but I like to report this stuff. Keep tabs on stuff. Who's winning, right? Who's getting points every day? But yeah, Project Looking Glass.
It's not us. It's not us. just FYI. We're on the same page there.
The bar graph is just stagnant. Just flat.
Yeah. No, they're flat. They're flat. We're flat line. Yeah. Okay. So what is Looking Glass? It's a kind of like the remote viewing bit, right? Like able to maybe see into the past or see from the past to the future. The retro causality bit, maybe the things we're doing today actually are working backwards against us. Who knows? So what's actually happening with that, as far as you're aware?
Yeah. So all the theories are kind of mixed in my head, but I think the idea was that alien tech was either stolen or given to us to allow us to look into the future. We sort of reproduced it. And so we have this this tech. So that's potentially one way they're doing it. Another is just honestly advanced AI with like quantum mechanics. That's totally reasonable. And that only a few factions of the world have this kind of predictive AI technology. So a lot of what's going on, what's crazy right now is different factions and governments injecting stimulus trying to get their result. I sound like Alex Jones right now.
Wait, you gotta take off your shirt and speak like you're really feeling it, and then you're good to go. Like wave your arms in the air and like, let me tell you, brother, buy the supplements. There's Alex Jones. Here you go. Human pink chimeras. Sorry, guys.
Hey, man, you can say what you want about him, but he definitely was entertaining.
He still is. He's not dead. He still is. He's still entertaining. Come on, man.
Yeah, I love Alex Jones. He just, you gotta sift through what he says, But he speaks a lot of truth too. He gets a lot of things right. They don't give him credit for that. But yeah, anyway, so we're basically.
Sorry, go ahead.
And in kind of on a lot of these themes, they kind of conjure that right now is a special time where there's like a few different kind of like timelines or different ways we can go as a civilization. And there's kind of a fight, whether you believe it's biblical, alien, governments, whatever. There's like a fight to take it in one direction or another. And that's kind of like the more biblical, high level kind of idea of that. So anyway, all these narratives are competing all at once in my brain, and I think no one's winning. So
okay, are you sending out like an SOS? You need like some
help.
No. Somebody send the EMTs to Mars. Can you give us your coordinates on Mars? We'll send you some help.
No, it's like the Three Stooges syndrome. It's like all of them are trying to go through the door at the same time, so no one goes through the door.
Oh, I see. And so,
Yeah,
we're two of the three Stooges, is what you're trying to say here.
We need a third. That's the thing.
We need a third.
We're missing
a third. Okay. All right. Yeah. Good. I mean, yeah. Who knows, right? So this is kind of like, of course, this is questions. This is theorycraft. This is not the real world, but is it though? Is there a spiritual war happening? Like, is this really going on? Right. I think you have to really take yourself out of yourself and think that. Is there that like primordial battle between good and evil that's continually happening with people? And it's not just people in the sense that we're born and we die and like the DNA moves on, but there's a soul at stake here. And is this a thing that continues? Is there reincarnation? I mean, there's a lot here, right? Like consciousness, and there's a ton. So we're kind of touching on a lot of things, and we seem like we're all over the place. But I'm telling you, human pig chimeras in China are real. That shit is real, guys. Look it up. But you get where we're going here. It's not. There's a lot. It seems like time travel and all this other BS in the world. It seems like you could write us off as quacks. But well, maybe you can. That's okay. I'm okay with that. Are you okay with that?
Hey, man, time will tell, right? Time will tell. We were prepared for COVID, so you could say we're crazy, but we're all still alive now. We were prepared. I almost feel like I'm kind of bored of COVID because we were so far ahead of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, I'm over COVID. Let's move on and still have to wear masks and stuff. But yeah, well, time will tell which one was kind of correct.
Time will tell. Hey, as long as we're protesting, COVID's not a thing, so we're good to go. Like Mike said there, Mike on YouTube said that COVID blew a 28-3 halftime lead to racism. So that's a good one, Mike. That's a good one, Mike.
That was a good one. I like that one.
Yeah.
I also like the meme, which is George Soros is like the pandemic has failed. Release the race wars or something like that.
Yeah. You never know. What's up, Nikki? I see you there. I think I shouted you out earlier. But what's up, Nikki? Hello again. All right. So yeah, I mean, anything else to wind it up? What do you think about the long count calendar? Do you think the end of the world is nigh, or do you think that this spiritual battle will go on for thousands of years yet?
Yeah, and it really is like, when you're a kid, or if you grew up in a religious family, they teach you, like simplistic world view of the world, God, demons, whatever. And then you kind of like, as you get older, you get skeptical, you cast all that aside. But then as I get older, I'm like returning back to that original message. It's like, there's a good way to be and there's a bad way to be, and it kind of simplifying life. So I think the human duality will always exist, right? And with our technology progressing the way we are, whether there's like some sort of hidden force or not, I mean, the New World Order, that was an agenda. That was like a real agenda that the CCP wants to take over, and they're using technology. And if they get that 1984 plus like AI plus technology, shit gets locked down. So, beyond going into the woo-woo, maybe we are at a crossroads in civilization. And I mean, I grew up before the internet. Now's their internet, COVID. I mean, like, I think we're similar age, Mike. I'm not saying anything, but I think we've lived through a lot of stuff, and it's like, God, how much more are we going to live through? And like aliens, and like, are we going to? It's just it's crazy. 2020 is a good number for crazy shit to happen, though. It's like, it's a good number, like in the history books. So
nice round number, 2020. The year all the shit went down, 2020. Yes, sir. Yeah, I don't know.
And it's election year.
Yeah, of course. Maybe that adds to the crazy, adds to the nutters. Yeah, definitely good shit. Everybody, Ash the Reptilian. You got a YouTube coming, right? Can you tell us about the YouTube? Plug your page there.
Yeah. So Ash the Reptilian on YouTube. We're in production now, so we're generating content, working with stuff. Getting our assets together. It's going to be kind of think like X-Files, kind of like more fun, right? I don't know the truth, right? The truth is out there, so I just like to play with ideas. We'll talk about some news, but we'll also talk about like stuff in the past and maybe interesting stories where people cited something. We'll get into it. We'll keep it fun, and I hope you guys check it out once it comes. It's right around the corner. We're like I said, we're working hard to get some stuff done here, and I'd love some feedback and get some eyeballs on it. And I just want to make a good show. So hope you guys enjoy it.
There you go. So if you want to check it out, you can go to our YouTube page, and I have his channel linked on the right side. So we have a secondary channel. It's Troubled Minds Media, and then you'll see him right underneath that, Ash the Reptilian. You can find it right on our YouTube page, and there you go. Good shit, man. Thanks for spending some time with us tonight. I appreciate it.
For sure. Thanks for having me on. I'm looking forward to hearing the way you link all this stuff up with the Mayan calendar. Oh, I did want to say one thing about the Mayan calendar before I go. Sorry, I had this thought.
You're good. Go right ahead.
If you think about it, how could they know when the end of the world is? Like, how would they know? Unless...
Well, the point is that, so assuming that the end of the long count calendar would be the end of the world, they would know because it's happened previously. So we have these cycles of birth and rebirth, death and rebirth, right? So it's like the phoenix from the ashes. So they know because it happened previously, and the previous rebirth is what they're counting to the end. And so the next stage... So again, right, assuming that it happened once before, that's how they know it happens again. So if it's cyclical, that's how they know. So,
like they lived through it and it was passed on, or like there's some sort of angelic or alien being that gave them the information or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
or it lived in like the universal subconscious through the rebirth or something. Yeah, who knows? I don't know. Again, like I said, if anybody knows this stuff, please let us know. We're not the answer people. We're the question people.
Lots of questions. Infinite questions.
Lots of questions. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Thanks. Ash the Reptilian. Follow him on YouTube. Thanks, my man. Have a good night. There it is. Simple as that, right? If you want to be on the show, that's how you do it. We can talk about whatever, right? Again, we have time for you. We don't have commercials. We don't have sponsors. We don't have any of this garbage. We have nobody to be accountable to except you and ourselves. And so if you want to be on the show, just like that. He was on Discord. You can join us by calling in 702-957-1037. Go to troubledminds.org, the official website. Click the Discord link, and then you can just hop in the caller queue. We'll put you on the show. Easy peasy as that. Okay, here we go. There we go. Yeah. Michael says, knock on wood, Ash, because you said you're bored of COVID. That's definitely he's on YouTube there. He's saying that don't say you're bored. You're kind of tempting fate. Don't be bored with COVID. Okay, so let's see. Who else? What's up, Eli? Eli says, "Hey Ash, what's up? Yeah, Penny says we're due for a reset. Yeah, and I think that's kind of what this may be, right? Like I think there's an energy involved here that like the polarizing politics, the Civil War type situation that's kind of brewing. The huge, you're either with us, you're against us type of mentality. Like there's an entire and this is the thing, guys, and I maintain this. I'm going to stick with this because I believe this is true. I think if you give people a chance to be good people, they'll be good people, right? But if you get like a really dirty, nasty media, which is what we have, and they just pit people against each other constantly with socioeconomics, with black, white, green, yellow, red, whatever the hell you are, like all these things, like, if you're a man or you're a woman or you're this or that, you're gay or you're straight or anywhere in between, right? Like there's literally 1,000 ways to divide people. And that's all the media does. Every time you turn it on, like I see it, it's like stoking the division, like you hate cops or you love cops, like there's no gray area here anymore. Like there's no nuance. Nuance is dead. And so as a result, it's that you're with us, you're against us attitude, and it's a complicit media. It's funded by the technocracy, the technocrats, and the people that have been in power forever. You have the new money and you have the old money, and that's it. Okay, and so we're talking about the Rockefellers and like the old money, like for the Ford Motor Corporation, old money. But then you got like the Zuckerbergs and the Jeff Bezos. That's new money, right? But it's still they're billionaires and they run this joint. And they'd rather have us divided because if they do, then we can't go after them, and that's the whole deal. Robert says there's a war going on in my backyard between the chipmunks and the squirrels. The squirrels are much bigger, but the chipmunks don't take no shit. There you go. Amen, brother. Amen, brother. Let me fix my noise gate. I had to change it because, you got to change things on the fly. Here we go. All right, new noise gate fix. Okay, so now there we go. Let's see. Let's keep on moving here. Where were we? We were somewhere. We were somewhere in between here. Let's find out where we were. Okay, so we were on the end of the Mayans, right? Okay, so that we got the Mayan stuff. Now check this out. Let's go biblical. Let's go. Okay, so we got that. So supposedly the end of the world, according to the recount. I demand a recount. The recount is that the Mayans said, according to their calendar, we screwed it up, and it's actually Sunday is the end of the world. This Sunday is the end of the world. So mark it on your calendar. It's an important day. Make sure, ask yourself this. If Sunday is actually the end of the world, what would you like to do before it ends? I think that's probably a nice thought. Not because, of the end, but maybe like, maybe you want to do something nice for yourself. Maybe you want to do something nice for somebody else. Maybe you want to take an extra nap on Saturday because, Sunday is the end of the world. What do you think about it in those terms, right? I think in human terms, when you kind of give it a situation of, is this happening? Could this be possible? I think as humans, right, we understand that we have an expiration date, okay? And so I think that, let's say, given a hard expiration date of, let's say, this coming Sunday, I demand a recount Mayan calendar. I think as humans, we understand that tomorrow, no matter what tomorrow might be, is not guaranteed. And so I think maybe you stop and you breathe and meditate or you pray or whatever it is that you do, and you maybe think is what are the things that you should do, given that your time on this earth is limited. And let's just think that maybe all of ours is limited to Sunday. Is there something that you haven't done that maybe you could do? Maybe you could make it happen between now and Sunday. Well, as humans, the human condition, that's every day, because tomorrow is never guaranteed. So, just FYI, guys, that's maybe a moment of reflection here as we kind of go into some biblical darkness and some back to the beginning of Exodus and the plagues of Egypt, which we're going to talk about in a sec. But yeah, right. I mean, I think there's some things to think about. And even if you think these topics here are a little whack or a little out there, or whatever it is, right? I think there's some way to bring it all back. And whatever you believe, if you're religious, you're non-religious, whatever it is, you believe in the soul, you don't. The primordial battle between good and evil. If you think the devil and God exist and all this stuff, right? Yeah. I'm not saying that it doesn't matter what you believe, but it almost doesn't matter what you believe. Right, because we're all in the same boat, and it's important. It's important to be. There you go. There's my little rant. Okay, so aside from the little rant, let's go to this website. This is dalehavencox.weebly.com. This is good stuff. I found this on. What's up, Timothy? How you doing? He says Father's Day. Is that Father's Day? Father's Day is the end of the world? Jesus. Pardon my blasphemy. Okay, here we go. So we got that dalehavencox.weebly.com. And God remembers Abraham, the plagues of Egypt. Okay, now this is leading somewhere, so stick with me for a sec. So we're going to go down and we're going to just buzz down to the bottom of this. This is a great article, right? Once you get into the biblical stuff and people that are kind of parsing the scripture itself, we're going to just skip to the good shit, right, in Exodus, which is the plagues of Egypt, okay? And you'll see where I'm going with this. So we've got number one was the plague of blood. Okay, Exodus 7:14 through 24. Okay, Moses turned the Nile, its tributaries, canals, and reservoirs into blood. All right, we got that. Even in the buckets and stone jars, blood was everywhere in Egypt. The fish died, and the smell was horrendous. All right, there's one. Two, the plague of frogs. Okay, when Pharaoh did not respond to Moses, God sent frogs upon the land. And of the Nile and all natural waters into the Egyptian houses, their beds, their ovens, and kneading troughs, even into Pharaoh's palace and all his officials. Okay, the Pharaoh hardened his heart. 3, the plague of gnats or lice. All the dust of Egypt became gnats that swarmed on men and animals. The Egyptian magicians could not duplicate this miracle. 4, the plague of flies. A disgusting dense swarm of flies poured into Pharaoh, his officials, and into the Egyptian houses. All homes were full of flies, even the ground. The land was ruined by the flies. Number 5, the plague on livestock. All the Egyptian livestock, horses, donkeys, camels, cattle, sheep, and goats died. And the Lord made a distinction between the Egyptian livestock and that of Israel. No animal belonging to Israel died. 6, the plague of boils. Moses tossed handfuls of soot from a furnace into the air in front of Pharaoh, and it became a fine dust all over Egypt. It caused festering boils to break out on Egyptians, their officials, and their animals. 7, the plague of hail. The Lord sent the worst hailstorm that has ever fallen on Egypt from the day it was founded until then. Something it was hail mixed with I can't say it. Hail mixed with fire. There we go. 10. 8, the plague of locusts. The Lord, okay, now you wonder why I'm reading this, okay? The plagues of Egypt from Exodus. Hold on. I got some shit that lines up. Recent shit. So hang on. And not only that, it kind of lines up with some alien theories, interestingly. So hang on. We're going to get to that. But stick with me for now. We're going through the plagues of Egypt, and then this is about as biblical as we're going to get tonight. So if this is not your thing, don't worry. We'll be out of this in a sec. The plague of locusts. The Lord brought through an east wind a horde of locusts that covered the earth till it was black. Okay, locusts. They devoured what little was left in Egypt after the hail, every tree, the fruit on the trees, everything growing in the field. Nothing on plant or tree remained. Number 9. Now, we've talked about this. No, number 9. The plague of darkness. Moses stretched out his hand, and total darkness covered Egypt for 3 days. It was described as darkness that can be felt. No one could see anything else or leave his place for 3 days. 3 days of darkness. Didn't we talk about that? That Q stuff? You think that's something related? You think they're taking it from here? Got number 10. The plague on the firstborn. Exodus 11 to 1 to 12, 30. Every firstborn son of Egypt was the highest official to the lowest slave to the firstborn. Even the cattle was struck down. There was not a house in Egypt without someone dead. There we go. And let's see. I think there we go. There we go. So there's a little more to this, the book of Exodus, but I thought it was important to point out the plagues, the plagues, right? The plagues of Egypt. God remembers Abraham, the plagues of Egypt. So there we go. Now, why do I bring this up? Here we go. Reported by Fox News. Fitting we go straight to Fox News. Here we go. The battle between good and evil. I laugh at myself. I'm not laughing, only at myself. Here we go. All right, so Fox News. This was published 1 day ago. Lightning strike kills 9 cows in Ireland. Animals discovered in field with their legs in the air. All right, so it's only 9, right? So you think, Mike, you can't equate the biblical plagues to this. This is nothing, right? This is 9 cows, a random lightning strike. Come on, Mike, you're stretching here. All right, maybe. All right, hold on now. Next, reported by NPR. Locusts are a plague of biblical scope in 2020. Why? And what are they exactly? Here we go. I'm linking this one now. You guys can check this out. And I'm going to read some of this, right? So we have livestock struck by lightning. We have locusts of biblical scope in 2020. And what's going on with this? Let's read some of this, and then you'll see what I mean. Titanic swarms of desert locusts resembling dark storm clouds are descending ravenously on the Horn of Africa. They're roving through croplands and flattening farms in a devastating salvo experts are calling an unprecedented threat to food security. On the ground, I can't say it because I've drank 3 beers. Subsistence planters can do nothing but watch, staring up with horror and their fields in dismay. Locusts have been around since at least the time of the pharaohs in ancient Egypt, 3200 BC, despoiling some of the world's weakest regions, multiplying to billions and then vanishing irregular booms and busts. If the 2020 version of these marauders stays steady on its warpath, the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization says desert locusts can pose a threat to the livelihoods of 10% of the world's population. All right? So you think, biblical locusts in Africa, big effing deal. No, let me read that again. If the 2020 version of these marauders stays steady on its warpath, the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization says desert locusts can pose a threat to the livelihoods of 10% of the world's population. It's a lot of damn people. It continues, all right? So this is a great article. Again, NPR, tax money, good stuff. At least they did some good shit here. So, it's not all propaganda all the time, though mostly it is. But here you go. This is a really good article. They tell you what's up with the locusts, how big are they. Now, what happens is, like, the bizarre thing about locusts, I was reading some of this, and it's fascinating. So locusts, in many cases, they seem to be solitary critters, right? They hang out solo. They spend a lot of time solo, and small. But then what happens is when conditions become right, whatever that is, right? It's the moisture becomes a particular amount. Then instead of being solitary creatures, they grow. Their body changes, and they're attracted to each other. Whereas first they were fine living alone and doing their thing. Now something changes. And now you get a swarm of locusts, and they're all sticking together, and they eat the hell out of everything, right? Like the term, quote, like a swarm of locusts, and it's totally right. Hold on, there's some crazy numbers in here about how they can destroy the shit out of crops, and here we go. So swarms are most intense in East African countries, including Kenya, Somalia, and Ethiopia. But data from the FAO's Desert Locust Watch documents steadily worsening infestations across Southeast Asia and the Middle East. Yemen, Saudi Arabia, Sudan, Uganda, and Iran are some of those afflicted. In Kenya, it's the worst outbreak they've had to face in the last 70 years, says Keith Cressman, the UN Food and Agriculture Organization's senior locust forecasting. The swarms are gargantuan masses of tens of billions of flying bugs. They range anywhere from a square third of a mile to 100 square miles or more, with 40 million to 80 million locusts packed into a half a square mile. They bulldoze pasture lands in dark clouds the size of football fields in small cities. In northern Kenya, Christman says, one swarm was reported to be 25 miles long by 37 miles wide. It would blanket the city of Paris 24 times over. Now, if you tell me, all right, so we started with some cattle being struck by lightning. You're like, get out of here, Mike. 9 cattle, some lightning in Ireland. GTFO. What about now? All right, this is all brand new. This is happening right now. Yesterday's news. This is today's news. Locusts swarming all over the Middle East. Okay, so again, read some of this. Now here's the worst part of this. Okay, so they say that a locust can eat its weight every single day. All right, so here we go. Locusts are ravenous eaters. An adult desert locust that weighs about 2 grams, a fraction of an ounce, can consume roughly its own weight daily, and they're not picky at all. According to the FAO, a swarm of just 1 square kilometer, about a third of a square mile, can consume as much food as would be eaten by 35,000 people in a single day. When they do descend, they can have almost total devastation, Overson says. They can cause 50 to 80% of crops to be destroyed depending on the time of year. Here we go. Does that sound biblical to you? There's some videos of this stuff. I was going to play some of it. TMZ has some videos and some other stuff, but yeah, there we go. Good night, Joe. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate that. Yeah, right. All right. So there we go. Stick with me. There's more. All right. So we got lightning strike killing some cows. We got some locusts swarming like crazy. All right. So here's Nat Geo and some more Africa swarms. Locust swarms in East Africa. So what's going on, right? So is 2020 like is this lining up? We had the pandemic. We got the riots. We got division like you've never seen before. We've got right? Like what's going on here? We got the locusts like going to affect 10% of the world's population hunger wise. Yeah, this is crazy. This is crazy stuff, guys. Okay, so here we go. Let's see. Swarms can swell to 70 billion insects, enough to blanket New York City more than once, and can destroy 300 million pounds of crops in a single day. That's what's going on right now. All right, now check this out. So all of this said, right, I was like, okay, got it. This is not even what started all this, right? When I started doing this show, I was like, okay, this show tonight, I was like, all right, we're going to talk about red rain. We're going to talk about when it rains and it's red, right? We're going to talk about shit falling from the sky that's bizarre AF, right? That's what we're going to talk about. And then I started looking, I started digging, I started reading the news, I started trying to make connections, and holy shit, we've got maybe a miscalculation on our part of the Mayan calendar that says the end of the world may be this week. And you start looking the world over, and there's some terrifying things happening. All right, so here we go. This is what this all started with. The Reign of Animals. This is brought to you by Wikipedia, which is, of course, what I like to call the Ministry of Truth. And a reign of animals is a rare meteorological phenomenon in which flightless animals fall from the sky. Does that sound familiar? Back to the biblical plagues of Egypt. So it continues. Such occurrences have been reported in many countries throughout history. One hypothesis is that tornadic wind spouts sometimes pick up creatures such as fish or frogs and carry them for up to several kilometers. However, the aspect of the phenomenon has never been witnessed by scientists. It is now accepted that there is only coincidental association between animals perceived to be falling from the sky and meteorological earthquake-related phenomena. Okay, there we go. Linked it, Wikipedia, the reign of animals. You think this doesn't happen? You think this is not happening? You think this is not recent? Let's see. Let's start with this one. Action.
Something fishy was going on in Australia, and by fishy, that's what I mean. In the town of Lajamanu on the edge of the Tanami Desert in the Northern Territory, locals had a close encounter of the scaly kind. In 2010, hundreds of fish rained down on them in an incident which left them baffled. The fish were described as small and white, and it's presumed they were carried in an updraft of some kind. They may have reached a height of around 60 or 70,000 feet before plunging onto the town below. That was pretty weird, but an even weirder thing is that this wasn't even the first time. In 2004, Lajamanu experienced tons of raining fish. What is it about this spot that makes it a prime spot for fish rain? Well, we hear the schools are pretty good there. Did you see what I did? Because you can get a school of fish and, okay, let's move on.
Fail. You're so funny. All right, fish falling from the sky, right? Sound biblical, plaguish? Here we go. Again, not so super recent, but here we go. There's more of this. We're going to get to red rain in a minute. And the red rain has an alien link. You'll see. Trust me. So stick through this. We got fish falling from the sky. We've got locusts in biblical proportions that may affect 10% of the world's population food-wise. And we have everything else. I don't need to go back and describe 2020 to you thus far. Anyway, we're just making connections here. Everybody relax. This is not the end of the world. I promise you. And unless it is, then there's nothing I could do to stop it. So let's have a good time. This is not this is entertainment. We're talking about trying to make connections here and maybe make a narrative, a coherent narrative. Okay, so everybody relax. This is not doom mongering. This is not what we do here. But I think there are some. If you're into the religious stuff, if you're into the long count calendars, again, we're not doom mongers here. That's not what we're doing. Please relax. It's not the end of the world, and if it is, there's nothing I can do to stop it. I say that and laugh. Oh, here we go. Fish falling from the sky. How about this? Now, this is what I mentioned when I was talking to UFO Joe. You guys heard that show. Very beginning, I said there was a magnificent book. I had all the paranormal stuff and UFOs in it, and we're talking about spontaneous human combustion and frogs falling from the sky. Well, yeah, that shit happens. Action.
Frog rain sounds like a weird phenomenon, but it isn't all that strange. There are various recorded cases of it happening, and the idea of amphibians falling from the sky is also in the public's mind from Paul Thomas Anderson's movie Magnolia. Have any of you seen it? Even though it sounds crazy, it actually happens. It is a rare meteorological phenomenon that happens every 10 years or so. The Bible mentions frogs raining from the sky, and even though it may just have been a metaphor, it literally just happened. A recent case happened in Hungary when teeny tiny frogs came out of the clouds. This happened across the country over a couple of days. That's a lot of frogs, right? It's believed the rain is caused by extreme weather conditions like wind, which blow the frogs out of their habitat. However, some have said that water spouts or tornadoes that lift things out of the water are probably responsible. Britain also seems to be susceptible in recent years, and no one is really sure why it is happening more often. The water spout supposedly sucks up everything from frogs to golf balls and moves them to the vortex, which it then sucks up into the storm clouds. Sometimes hundreds and even thousands of frogs will rain down. Not quite Sharknado, but hey.
All right, so we got fish, we got frogs. It gets worse, right? If you guys are squeamish and can't bear the thought of disgusting things falling from the sky, there's more. Here we go. Action.
I've mentioned all kinds of creepy crawlies so far in this video, so you know it was only a matter of time before I started talking about snakes. This is a historical case which dates back to 1877 in South Memphis. Thousands of black snakes were reported to have dropped during a rainstorm. Some were over a foot long, and they were all tangled up in one big snaky mess. I guess it's the modern equivalent of getting all the cables stuck together on your TV. That can be a nightmare, but nothing compared to this. Like with some of the other cases, the reason the snakes appeared is a mystery. The snakes covered 2 blocks, and it's thought that either they were blown there by a hurricane, or there was another reason altogether for their unannounced visit. The streets had recently been built, and some reckoned that the construction crews had disturbed the reptiles, and so they slithered out for a look-see. I'm not sure which is worse, to be honest, a bunch of snakes falling from the sky, or a bunch of snakes coming up out of the ground.
There you go. So we got fish, we got frogs, we got snakes. Well, if you have arachnophobia, action.
People in Brazil got a shock in 2013 when the sky seemed to fill up with spiders. If you're an arachnophobe, you might want to look away now. This happened in the town of Santo Antonio da Platina, west of Sao Paulo. While in the northeast there are tons of blizzards, in Brazil it's raining spiders. Which do you prefer? A photographer was shooting an engagement party when it started raining down spiders. Can you imagine? Apparently, this is not as strange of an occurrence as you might think. They're social spiders who live in huge colonies and are capable of constructing immense webs. Some have been known to spin them up to a height of 65 feet. These spiders will use their webs as balloons to fly over the skies of Brazil. When strong winds hit the colony, it will carry them through the air for miles, and they can travel all over the place, from forests to parks to your house. So if you're planning a trip over there anytime soon, be sure to pack your umbrella and your spider repellent. Australia has also experienced some spider rain recently. Of course, it's Australia. Southern Australia experienced millions of spiders dropping from the sky. These are tiny spiders that also use their webs to fly, and it often looks like it's snowing. You'll be happy to know that ballooning spiders pose no danger to people.
Well, there you go. As long as you have, don't have arachnophobia. Spiders start raining from the sky. There's a couple more here. Let me reset the thing. You can hear the thing stuttering. But yeah. So what do you think? Right. So again, we started with the Mayans and their we dicked up the long count on their calendar. They were spot on. We were messed up. It's not actually December 21st, 2012. It's actually June 21st, 2020. Which happens to be next week. It's on Sunday. just FYI. So, there's that, right? And it's going around the news and people are talking about this, coast to coast. I don't know if George Norrie's talking about this because I don't listen to that guy, but, there's some stuff going on out there. Like there's some actual things happening that kind of make you wonder, is this real? Could this be real? These are the things, right, that make you wonder, are we living in a simulation, right? Like they question the nature of reality. It's like, okay, well, we're talking about the Mayan long count calendar, the end of the world. We're talking about biblical prophecy. We're talking about locusts, sizable enough to affect 10% of the world's population food-wise. I mean, right? Right? Talking about fish and frogs and spiders and snakes falling from the sky. It's kind of like Bill Murray in Ghostbusters, right? The end of the world, dogs and cats living together, and literally the end of things, the end of times. Is that what's happening here? I don't know. What do you guys think? Anyway, if you have comments on this as I reload this sucker to play the last couple clips, we got time for you. We do this live. We don't do commercials. I sit here and talk for 3 hours straight. So if you guys could help me out, I'd appreciate that. You give me a call. 702-957-1037. Whether you're religious or not, what do you think? This is a good story, compelling or not? Whatever. If you want to just say hi, show feedback, request a show in the future, everything's kind of on limits to us, right? There's no off limits. We can do whatever the hell we want here. So if you, this is not something you'll see in many places, on many radio shows, on whatever, right? Like I think our streamlined ability, where it's just us and no advertisers and no anybody telling us what to say, it allows us to kind of be ahead of the game. We were ahead of COVID. We're ahead of all the geopolitics. We're ahead of everything we want to be, right? So that's what this is about. This is about us getting together and being ahead because there we go. If you want to give me a call, I'll be on the show. 702-957-1037. Go to troubledminds.org, the official website. Click the Discord link and you can be on the show that way. And there we go. There we go. So we got what we got. We got spiders from this fall. So we got fish. We got frogs. We got snakes. We got spiders. Yeah. There's more. It gets worse. Does it get worse? I don't know. It depends on what you love or hate. This has turned into Fear Factor, hasn't it? Like Fear Factor from the sky. Here we go. We got a few more, but let's play this last one and then we'll move on and get off the biblical plagues and get onto the red rain and the aliens. So here we go. Last one, and then we'll get on to red rain and, again, a biblical plague, right? And and some other weird shit falling from the sky. Here we go. Last one, action.
One species that seems to fall from the sky a lot is worms. That's right, pretty icky, huh? Around the world, there have been many eyewitness accounts of worms plummeting to Earth. It's occurred throughout history, and the craziest thing is that it has happened during calm weather conditions as well as stormy ones. These worms wind up everywhere. In 1872, they rained down on Bucharest in Romania. It was Christmas, too. Not so much a case of white Christmas as a wriggly Christmas. Not a great omen, even if it was just a natural occurrence. In 1912, a ferry boat in Canton, South Dakota was actually followed by a cloud which seemed to spit worms. Then, in Texas 2015, drivers witnessed the bizarre sight of piles of worms all in a neat line along a road. The worms fall in huge numbers and have reportedly had to be scooped up in buckets. No one's sure how they end up in the sky. Tornadoes is one guess, but they've also appeared during non-stormy weather. What the heck is going on in the sky?
What the heck is going on in this? What the heck's going on in this world? What the hell's going on here? Yeah, definitely good stuff. Michael, Ash said he knocked on wood. So there we go. Just FYI. Send me a message. Okay, so knock on wood. Everybody knock on wood. Good health and everybody. Yeah, Diane. Worms. Worms. Steven says live bait. Or don't have to hit the tackle shop, right? You just need to go outside, grab a handful and go fishing. Yeah, right. So some wacky shit, right? Like what do we need? We need earthquakes and we need fire and brimstone, and we're good to go, right? Like we've kind of done it all. No. There's more. Trust me, there's more. All right, so I got a couple more links about this stuff. If you guys didn't know that, a rain of animals happens. Again, straight from the Wikipedia, which I like to call the Ministry of Truth. What's up, 90s Gamer? I see you there on Twitch. Thanks for showing up. Here we go. So this is crazy, right? This is crazy stuff. This is crazy sauce. I have to laugh. Okay, the rain of animals. Okay, here we go. Strangest things that have rained from the sky. I'm going to drop a couple more links here. And again, notice how recent a lot of this stuff is. Some of this is as old as 1896 and shit like this. This has been happening for hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years, right? The world over, because we can't explain it. Nobody really knows exactly what causes these things, okay? But here we go. There's some more. I'm linking some more things here. And here we go. We're going to get to the red rain and the aliens in just a sec. Okay, the blood rain, the biblical blood rain, and trust me, this relates to aliens somehow. So here we go. Here's a few more links for you guys. You guys check this out if you want to look into things, animals raining from the sky. It's a thing. I promise you, it's a thing. It's not. I'm not making this shit up. There's tons of sources. There it is. All right. So we got lightning striking, killing the cattle. We got locusts swarming in huge biblical numbers. We got frogs and fish and worms and snakes and spiders falling from the sky, right? Like again, we're not doomsayers, but if we were, I tell you what, we'd be like Harold Camping, if anybody remembers that guy. We'd be picking a day at the end of the world. Michael says, glad Ash knocked on wood. He should be fine now. Very important. All right, good. There you go. Hey, superstition is a thing. All right. Robert says Yellowstone has been trembling. There's another one. So we do have earthquakes. You're right. We do. So Yellowstone has been kind of out of control. So if we did 5-hour shows, we could include the wildfires that started the year. We can include data from Yellowstone that shit's kind of getting out of control there, which is a super volcano, by the way. Yeah, maybe, right? Todd says, man has not only denounced God, but he has abused his planet and lost his way. And I think you may have not many people argue with you there. So there we go. As terrible, again, I laugh, gallows humor. Forgive me and my blasphemy and my gallows humor. And anyway, here we go, guys. Here we go. 90s Gamer. I run a Twitter channel that posts UFO videos with 1,200 followers. I'm going to share this channel. Thank you. Appreciate that. If you want to be on the show, man, we take live callers. You can call us right now, and you can plug your channel live on the show. Go for it. 702-957-1037. I figure, this is the thing, right? So if you guys have a blog or a YouTube channel or any of that, and you want to use this show as a way to get the word out, it's fine, right? Literally, we kind of come up together, okay? And it's okay. So just be cool about it and don't be spammy and don't be stupid and don't do like that stupid prank call and we're good, as long as you're cool, we're cool. So it's fine. Definitely fine. I appreciate you, Sharon, and if you want to be on the show, you're welcome anytime. That goes for everybody. So, okay, here we go. So now check this out. Now, okay, this gets good, right? All right, so we've talked about the biblical plagues. We got frogs, we got snakes, we got fish, we got spiders, we got worms falling from the sky, we got lightning strikes and cattle, we got locusts of biblical proportions. Now check this out. Yeah, that's right. Now we have red rain. And not only that, this is a semi-recent. And not only semi-recent, this happens from time to time throughout history. And this is, here you go, hold on. Oh boy. I clicked on the wrong thing. Am I still streaming? Okay, we're good. All right, let's see. Sherry says locusts or a 17-year cycle. Here we go. Timothy says, why not just release the mummy while we're at it? We can open the Ark of the Covenant together. Pandora's box. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of that, right? There's a whole lot of that. All right, here we go. I'm going to link this. Yeah, there we go. You guys in your comments, you're hilarious. I'm actually snorting because you're too funny. So Larry says, as long as Yosemite Sam, Elmer Fudd, and Martin the Martian are disarmed, we'll be good to go. And Todd says, of course, this is what Todd says. I have this is just for you, Todd. I have a clip just for you. Todd says this.
How dare you?
Yeah, how dare you, Todd? How dare you, you dirty dog? Okay, here we go. Now check this out. We have this. This is UFOinsight.com, and this is actually written by a friend of ours. He's been on this show. Marcus Louth lives in the United Kingdom. Writes about all kinds of amazing shit. If you guys aren't familiar with UFOinsight.com, check it out. This guy is a wealth of knowledge, and he's partnered with this website. And this is amazing. This is amazing. Here we go. Did the red rain of Sri Lanka prove alien life does exist? Okay, now that seems silly, doesn't it? Let's just go to this. So this is a fantastic article. I did link it. Did I link it? Yeah, I linked it. Okay, check it out. UFO Insight. This is one of those places where it's an unbelievable resource, right? Like you can kind of scour YouTube and kind of bounce around on Twitter and hear, get this or that. But this one resource has an unbelievable amount of information, basically scoured from the internet, like we do. Okay, so some of the things we get are sourced from this website, and give the ideas, jumping points to do shows. And Marcus Louth, prolific writer, knows all kinds of good shit. I can't plug the guy enough. He's actually got a book. I'm going to link that too. I'm going to link his book. He's got a book that he just wrote. I'm going to link it in the show notes, and he's been wanting to be on the show again. So we'll get him back on the show at some point here to talk about his book and some of this stuff. But here we go. This is written by him. Red rain in Sri Lanka. Okay, does it prove that alien life exists? Maybe some of you have heard of this, maybe some of you haven't. But let's play this clip from YouTube, and this is where they talk about it. It's 8 minutes, so we'll do it in like a couple minute chunks here, and talk about it. But this kind of sums up the entire story. This sums up the whole story right here. So I'm gonna just drop it into the little window. So listen. More importantly, you can watch a little bit in the little window, but listen more importantly. But this is what happened. So we're talking about blood rain falling in Sri Lanka, and let's just watch. Action. November 17th, 2012.
Savannagala in eastern Sri Lanka. A typical day in the monsoon season. The rain torrential. Except there's something very different about this rain. Its color.
Okay, so they're actually let me read some of this. So this is not English, so they got subtitles. So let me just read some of this. So this lady says, we went to look at the puddles and it looked like dirty blood. Okay, like literally red rain falling from the sky. And this is where I would play the red rain clip if I had it, Peter Gabriel. But anyway, I don't, so we'll just have to go with that REM clip at the end of the world. All right, here we go. So she says the rain was this color. She's holding like a scarlet, like a ribbon or a sash or fabric in her hand. She's like saying that it was red. It was this sort of red. And she continues here. This other individual says that when we looked at the ground, it was completely red. All right, this is 2017 when this happened. And he says that, continues, here we go. I think let's play the rest of this, go.
It rained on and off for 60 days straight. People were held captive by the mysterious red downpour and feared their drinking water was contaminated. To calm the growing panic, the government was forced to intervene.
Well, a team of 6 specialist doctors have been appointed by the Ministry of Health to investigate the red rain experience in the Savanagala area.
It was a race against time as investigators worked to ensure the water was safe for consumption.
Within 12 hours, we got the first red rain sample to the MRI for investigations. There's a public outcry to know what it is. We were able to do the chemical analysis, but we couldn't say conclusively what it is.
Next, investigators at Slintech, the most technologically advanced laboratory in Sri Lanka, tested the theory that pigmentation in algae spores was to blame. Cyclones and tornadoes may have sucked up the algae into the atmosphere for it to fall, similar to the dust and blood theories with the rain.
We have tested 2 types of algae, but it doesn't match with these red rain sample. So we cannot conclude that this is a kind of algae. It has a different structure completely.
Okay, so we have red rain, 2017 falling in Sri Lanka, okay? And we have, they call in the government because people are scared. They think their drinking water is being contaminated. They think that, right, like, again, like the biblical plagues have arrived, right? Like, just like I've been talking about. Like, what the hell is actually happening in the world when we have these types of things happening? 60 days, right? What was the Noah flood, right? Like 40 days and 40 nights of rain. Well, they had 60 days on and off of red rain falling from the sky, okay? And then so they have scientists come in and they're looking into this. And remember, this is as soon as 2017. This is when this happened last. But it's happened from time to time. This isn't the only time, okay? So now let's look at the rest of this and what red rain actually entails and how this may have some sort of actual alien connection, right? There's been some speculation here that you guys may have heard of the term panspermia. Well, it's going to come into play here, and how maybe this actually sticks to some sort of like an actual scientific finding of how life kind of proliferates through the universe. So there we go. What's up, my Humies? How you doing? I see you on Twitch. Greetings, Humies. Thanks for showing up. Here we go. Let's continue with this. But how about this? Before we finish, before we go on with this, another couple minutes. If you guys have comments on this, on again, like at the end of the world, maybe that this is a 2020 eschaton, or is it not? How do you feel? And if you do, like I said, I think this is time whether you believe this or not. Hopefully this is a good narrative. This is a good story. This is entertaining. That's what this is. We're not doom mongers once again, but do take time to consider that our time as humans is limited. So we have an expiration date, and so assuming the end of the world is Sunday, what would you like to do between now and then, right? Because we all have different times. Yeah, there you go. Just think, right? Like maybe a time to step back and say, Mike, you're not a doom monger, but perspective is good. Human perspective is good. So let's share a healthy dose of that, and then we'll keep on moving here. So let's continue. So this we have red rain falling. We have scientists involved. And let's see how this might actually have some sort of alien connection. Action.
Its different cell structure rules out algae. Whatever it is, it looks to be alive. Professor De Silva went on the hunt for its DNA, a genetic code present in all known life.
If the DNA is present, there should be phosphorus. We have looked to see the total elemental analysis, but all the samples that we have looked in, we didn't find any phosphorus. So that means we can conclude that there is no DNA in these organisms.
What's more, it's replicating in conditions that would kill all other known life forms.
I have heated these cells for 15 hours at 300 degrees centigrade. That would kill any normal organism. We found, to our surprise, that they don't just survive, they are growing happily at that temperature.
Now, Professor Lewis's examination of the strange cells in the red rain have led him to an astonishing conclusion.
This is potentially an extraterrestrial organism.
So could these tiny cells actually be alien life? Professor Chandra Wickramasinghe is one of the world's leading astrobiologists. Consultant to the European Space Agency, he is an expert in the ongoing debate on the possibility of life existing elsewhere in the universe. He suspects a connection to a mysterious event reported on the local news a week before the red rain fell.
What are these unidentified lights?
Sri Lanka Air Force states that it is keeping a 24-hour vigil regarding the unidentified lights that were witnessed in the skies over several parts of the island.
Chandra tracks down an eyewitness who reported seeing the strange lights.
Oops, he says that there's a translation here. He's speaking a different language. He says, I came out at night to adjust the water level in the paddy field. He says, then this amazing thing happened, and this is the eyewitness. His name is Takiri Banda. He says these colored rays of light came crashing down from the sky. I've never seen anything like it. I was really quite afraid.
Takiri Banda saw the lights crash to Earth. Next day, he discovered mysterious debris in his field.
Okay, so there we go. So now we have a farmer there that actually saw these mysterious lights in the sky, right? So some would describe this as a UFO activity or maybe a meteorite or whatever it happens to be, right? But then he finds this debris in his farm, in his field, right? He's out there checking the paddies for the water level, so he's very familiar with what's there on a daily basis. But then the next day, he finds these fragments that appear to be meteorite fragments. Now remember, this was a week before the red rain started falling in these different areas of Sri Lanka. Okay, so now let's continue with this. What's up, Smiley? I see you there on YouTube. Thanks for showing up. Or I'm sorry, on Facebook. Thanks for showing up. You ready? Yeah, you ready, buddy? Are you ready for this? Here we go. This continues, right? Now again, red rain, okay, panspermia, some sort of alien connection here. Watch this, how this thing plays out. They couldn't find any known DNA in this thing, no DNA trace whatsoever in the actual samples of red rain that they took. And yeah, here we go, action.
This is a large piece. Did you find many large pieces?
Oh, yes, yes.
You saw the fireball and you saw this actually falling from the skies.
Yes.
That's very significant.
Chandra's convinced he knows what fell that night.
On that evidence alone, I think one has to say that it is a meteorite. I think the cells in this red rain sample may well have come from the meteorite.
Back in Britain, Chandra has his rainwater sample and meteorite fragments. They fell to Earth in the same place and just a week apart. He believes that if he can find the same strange cells in the meteorite that have already been identified in the rain, then these cells came to Earth from space. Chandra's using a scanning electron microscope, 100 times more powerful than a conventional microscope.
If I focus in here, you should see.
Trying to locate the tiny cells, just 0.008 of a millimeter across, is a painstaking task.
Is there any one you'd like to?
How about this one here?
Okay, should we zoom in on that one?
As they search deep inside the meteor rock, Chandra spots something.
That's the potential red rain there, isn't it?
Could this be a match?
It's a whole field of spherical carbon structures that look like red rain cells. I think that's a very interesting discovery that we made right now here.
Chandra believes he's identified the same mysterious cells found in the red rain inside the meteorite.
Okay, so now we have this situation going on, right? We have red rain falling from the sky. A week prior, this is 2017, guys. This is not 1896. We have actual data. They're able to collect this rain. They're actually look at this under electron microscopes. They initially couldn't find any DNA whatsoever, like it was some sort of alien entity. And then the doctor goes out to investigate this meteor sighting, this light in the sky, and then he gets meteor fragments from this individual's field that said he was a witness, and he had fragments that weren't there previously. They look in the fragments under the microscope, and he thinks he sees similar cells to what they find in the red rain. Now think about that. We've got a meteor that comes from wherever it comes from. And again, panspermia, right? Where life maybe does not originate here. Maybe here was a barren rock, and something like this happened, and rained red rain the world over. And here we are, lucky mud, right? Here we are. Maybe this is where it came from. So here we go. Let's finish this up. A couple more minutes, and what the hell, right? What the hell? Is it truly the end of the world as we know it? Let's find out.
We are finding these cells right in the deep interior of the meteorite, so it means that they are not contaminants.
If Chandra has found matching cells inside the meteorite, it proves the red rain didn't simply deposit the cells on the meteorite after it hit land. They must have been inside the meteorite as it hurled towards Earth and exploded into tiny pieces.
Would have been a huge number of these red rain cells, and the total weight would have been tons.
If so, the red cells would have settled into the cloud layer, where they stayed for weeks, gradually falling as red rain. If his analysis is correct, it would explain the red rain, and it would prove that life exists beyond Earth. What's troubling is that these cells are multiplying, and the latest tests reveal they could be dangerous to humans.
A high concentration of uranium was found in the outer crust of these unicellular organisms.
This alien uranium might pose a serious threat to human life. Uranium is radioactive and toxic if ingested or inhaled. It's carcinogenic, and exposure to high doses can lead to fatal kidney damage.
I think we have to accept that life forms would arrive on the Earth that would cause diseases and would affect ecologies of existing plant and animal life. So there could be a serious risk of a pandemic that might even wipe out the whole of mankind.
Okay, there we go. So that's the end of this. I'm going to link this again if you guys want to check this out. So apparently there's an entire, like a longer show, like a whole 30-minute show or hour show or something like that. So I'm linking this up. This is a short YouTube video, and you can see. But again, right? Red rain. Red rain. Falling down. Yes, and here we are. And not only that, so does this red rain, so they found there was some sort of a radioactivity. It was dangerous to humans. It sat in a cloud cover for weeks, possibly. It came from a meteorite, they said, that happened a week prior to the red rain falling. And remember, it was 60 days on and off of red rain falling for these people in Sri Lanka. And again, this is not 1896. This is 2017 when this happened. Do you understand what I'm saying to you guys? And listen to me. Is this or is this not proof of panspermia, right? Proof of life migrating throughout the universe in cells and microbes that are much like the water bears, right? The what are they called? The actual proper term, where they can pretty much survive in any condition, and including the vacuum of space. And then all they need is water, and they're back, and they're alive again. So who knows, right? Is this what's happening here? Is this proof of alien life? So they've actually come out. I got some other links here that we'll mow through. What do you guys think about this? Again, is this the end of the world? I'm play this one more time because they're going to monetize the shit out of us. So I'm going to lean on this as I drink some beer. Is this what it is? Is this where we're at? And is this actually this?
It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine.
That's right, I feel fine. Do you feel fine? I think that's the question, right? Even in the face of the end of the world, right? Just like let's go to the Tom Petty song. He says, you can stand me up at the gates of hell and I won't back down. Was that where we're at? Is this what this is? I'm trying to tell you this is not the end of the world, because I do feel fine, and I hope you feel fine too. But, you know, hopefully it was a good journey tonight. We talked about all kinds of things. We talked about fish falling from the sky, frogs, spiders, snakes. We talked about all kinds of crazy shit, right? We talked about the biblical plagues. We talked about locusts in Africa. I don't know. Fires that started out the year, wildfires that turned into a pandemic, an impeachment of a presidential thing, whatever you want to call him. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think the one thing you can say about 2020 is it has not been boring. How about that? Good, bad, or indifferent, right? However you want to rate it. I think you cannot rate it boring. So there we go. There we go. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? We got a few minutes left. If you guys want to, if you want to be part of the show, if you want to call in, I'm ready. I've been talking for nearly 3 hours. Had a couple great calls tonight. If you want to be on the show, if you have thoughts, again, we don't have a hard break coming up, or we don't have like a jingle for a crappy commercial that you don't want to hear. No, we've got me and we've got you, and that's what this show's about. So if you want to talk about this, if you want to chime in, if you were entertained tonight, then we did our job. If you think this a little bit of a stretch, no problem. But we started with the Mayan calendar, didn't we? And how we may have miscounted their precise readings, and maybe next week is the end of the world, June 21st, 2020, right? Which actually, supposedly, was supposed to be December 21st, 2012. Well, it turns out that the math may have been off, and it's an 8-year difference. And the 8-year difference means Sunday is the end of things. Then we talked about the biblical plagues. We talked about frogs and fish and snakes and all kinds of weird shit falling from the sky. Yeah, you tell me. You tell me. I feel fine. How do you feel? I feel fine. I feel fine. Okay, there we go. What's up, Tamara? Thanks for showing up tonight. Sherry says bacteria aliens. On with the new. I got somebody here sitting next to me that said changing of the guard. Right. So if the aliens come and they send the spores down, they may be toxic to humans. Maybe the great change is now, and maybe out with the old and in with the new. Right? I laugh. It's a morbid laugh. Oh, God. It's a morbid laugh. And I feel fine. I feel fine. All right. One more time. If you guys want to be part of the show, we got a few minutes left for you. If you guys are done with me, that's cool. I'm cool with that, because we'll be back. You can't stop me. You can only hope to contain me, because I'll just keep coming back. God willing, as long as I'm allowed to breathe air in my lungs, I'll be back. So you can't stop me. You can only hope to contain me. So here's the thing. A few minutes left for you if you guys want to call in. 702-957-1037. You can click the Discord link. You can find both the phone number and the Discord on troubledminds.org. And you can be part of the show. You can tell me what you think. Give me show feedback. What did you think about the narrative tonight? What did you think about maybe you learned something? I think this is the thing, right? We kind of hopefully do, if we do it right, we do multi-layers of things. We try and build like a narrative that is at least semi-entertaining. Hopefully maybe you learned something about maybe this event in Sri Lanka with the red rain and the panspermia connection, and where maybe there's like some sort of maybe this is where we came from. Maybe this is like an exact replica of what happened, say, 1 billion years ago. That kick-started life on Earth. Like, who knows, right? These are the types of things, and that would be aliens. That would literally be alien DNA, right? Devoid of DNA, but dropped off and then became what we are. Who knows? Again, who knows? I think that's the thing. What do you guys think? One more time. Got time for you. Got a few minutes left. 702-957-1037. But I'll tell you what. If you guys continue to call for the next hour, we'll go for another hour. That's what this is all about. So I'm done. Like, I've got some more. We can kind of talk about the red rain and some panspermia and some other stuff. But I think I've probably bored you to tears with some of that and the nitty-gritty details. All those links will be in the go to YouTube after this. I'm going to put them up right after the show. You can find all of the links I've cited, and you can follow me and see where I went with this. And maybe there's something here, and maybe there's not, right? But again, it doesn't matter. If you learned something, if you had a good time, that's really all that matters. One more time, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link, and you can join the show. Hanging out. kicking it, drinking some beer, and that's what we're doing tonight. Yeah, there we go. I feel fine. I feel fine. There it is. There you go. Why would we want to stop you, says Tamron. You're the best, Mike. Thank you. I appreciate that. Cheers. Cheers to everybody out there listening. Again, so if we're at the end of this and you guys, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do the end because we're not done yet. Okay, let's do a couple more articles just to buy some time in case you guys want to do your thing. In case you want to talk about whatever. If you want to call in, show feedback, you want to talk about tonight's show. Let's do a couple more articles and then we'll finish up. So I'm doing this to give you guys some time if you want to call because there's more. There's more here. So let's do this. Let's do this and finish this up and then let's see how we feel. Like I said, I feel fine. I hope you feel fine too. We got this. Now, this is the red rain study, okay? So now here's the red rain cells, okay, from the red rain sample, and this is actually from a different place in Kerala, right? This is not the one we were talking about in Sri Lanka, but this has happened before. This was actually imaged on February 4th, 2016, and you see there's in the red rain samples, there's these similar type of organisms, there's cells, right? And again, devoid of DNA, maybe not. So here we go. Here's another link. This is from strangesounds.org. Got tons of fantastic websites. We're kind of living on the edge here, right? Like, is this science? Is this pseudoscience? What is this? Like, who knows? Like, this is up to you. I'm not the answer guy. I'm the question guy. Okay, so here's the thing. Strangesounds.org. Red rain mystery in Sri Lanka and India. Every once in a while, a mysterious red rain sporadically falls on the southern Indian state of Kerala and Sri Lanka, okay? Exactly what we were talking about. So there we go. Red rains have been reported on July 25th, 2001, late September 2001 in the same area. And not only red, yellow, green, and black rain. The colored rain appears to be a very local and short phenomenon falling over small areas measuring no more than a few square kilometers. On and on, right? So, like, this is not like the Sri Lanka thing that was 60 days of on and off rains, like of red rain, is not isolated. This happens, right? So here's some possible causes. Let's read some of these scientific style, and then we'll go from there. One more time, though, as we finish this is for you. This is a couple extra minutes in case you guys want to get your thoughts in here. One more time, if you want to be part of the show, and I'll go right back to this. 702-957-1037. TroubledMinds.org. Click the Discord link. You can be on the show either way. TroubledMinds.org. Phone number's on the top of the page. Give me a call. Let me know what you think. As I said, here we go. I can't. Is this entertaining? Is this entertaining to you? Is it? Do I have to play it? I think I'm going to play it. Only because it's too good to not play.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Yeah, there we go. I think that means I killed it. MFers, everybody out there, and I mean that in the most respectful way. All right, here we go. Here's a possible list of the causes for the red rains. Dust from the deserts of Arabia, they say. LiDAR observations had detected a cloud of dust in the atmosphere near Kerala in the days preceding the outbreak of the red rain. But that hypothesis fails to explain certain aspects of the red rain, such as its sudden onset, its gradual decline over 2 months, and its very precise localization to Kerala. Okay, which is this is a completely different situation where red rain happened, and so there we go. This continues to happen in particular areas of the world, right? But the one we're talking about, Sri Lanka 2017, actually had like some sort of a meteorite kind of maybe happen. Okay, so this continues. Few more options here. Mammalian blood from a large flock of bats killed at high altitude. Okay, here's another possible cause. An absence of bat wings and other remains found raining from the sky, along with no known natural process, would separate the red blood cells from white cells. Platelets and other blood components has led scientists to discount that possibility. Why would we even say that? Like, wouldn't you have dead bats from the sky? Get the fuck out of here. Next one, extraterrestrial origin. Having collected samples of the rainwater at many locations, 2 scientists claim that the colored particles were actually extraterrestrial cells. An isotopic investigation, however, corroborated the terrestrial origins of the cells found in the red rain. They say so that they did find later, okay, that they said that the initial study missed DNA, just FYI, and then the next guy said they found it, and they said that it's some sort of algae that kind of grew in the sky and then dropped in the red rain, and actually not just red rain, black rain, yellow rain, green rain, and some other weird shit. So just so we cover all the bases, that's what they said. Corroborated terrestrial origins of the cells, okay? But again, each situation is different, and that thing in 2017 had the meteorite, which many of these others didn't have that corroborating thing that maybe made sense, or the... Anyway, there we go. Cometary origin. A few hours before the first occurrence of the red rain, residents of... Oh, I couldn't say this. Here we go. I'm going to let Microsoft Mike say this because this is a long word. Here we go. Let's play this. I'll drink some beer and we'll finish this up. And then, again, if you guys want to call, 702-957-1037, click the blah. There we go. Action.
A few hours before the first occurrence of the red rain, residents of Shanganassery in Kottayam district reported a sonic boom, accompanied by a flash of light. Lewis and Kumar suggest that the disintegration of a small comet entering the Earth's atmosphere caused that, the comet containing large quantities of the red particles. This would then become the first evidence speaking for panspermia, which sustains that life on Earth was carried here from elsewhere in the universe.
Thank you, Microsoft Mike, my lovely assistant. There we are. Panspermia, which sustains that life on Earth was carried here from elsewhere in the universe. Yeah, you tell me. I have a ton more links. I can blow through all this. There's more. We got an hour more. Right here. But I can only talk so long. So if you guys want to finish this up, this is for you. A couple more minutes for you. One more time. 702-957-1037. Just drinking beer. Thinking about the end of the world. Thinking about red rain, locusts. Thinking about frogs and fish and snakes and spiders falling from the sky, and worms. Boy, I tell you what, thinking about how the year started with wildfires and now the plague. Like, is this the plague? Is it a pandemic? Is it the plague? Is it the Black Death? Is it the modern version of the Black Death? Imagine if this... Okay, so let's just take that into account. Imagine if this coronavirus happened in, I don't know, the year 1200. How many people do you think it might have killed? No modern medicine, right? The Dark Ages going on. We got, could this have been the plague? The bubonic? Worse? Better? Yeah. I think measuring plagues is a morbid exercise, so we're not going to do that. But, yeah, there we go. At the end, what do you think? Were you not entertained? I hope you were. So, all right, we don't have any callers. Let me see. Anybody in Discord? We're going to end this. Yeah, I think we're good. All right, so... Again, I don't know what to tell you other than I hope that you had a good time. And I hope that you feel fine, because at the end of the world, I think probably the most important thing is you feel okay. You feel okay with yourself. You feel okay with your family. You feel okay with your loved ones. And you feel okay that you had a hell of a ride as a human. So that's where we're at. You guys are the best. Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to play the outro music, but I'll kill it if I get a call. So everybody chill. You like how I gave you time. We're not trying to do this. We're not trying to cut it off for a commercial, but I do have to pee and stuff. I'm a human, so we're gonna hit this, and we're gonna do our thing, and we're gonna end this up. But if you want to call 702-957-1037, troubleminds.org, which of course means you're listening to Trouble Minds Radio. And which, of course, means I would be your host, Michael Strange. And also, of course, if that means you're still here, number one, I'm shocked. And number two, you're definitely super fans. Which you have no idea how much I appreciate. Thank you for being here. Thanks for hanging out. I'm honored you guys spend your time with me. And I hope you had a good time. I hope you learned something. I hope that... this is not the end of the world. Yeah, right? Because I feel fine. Bongmancer, any end of the world live stream? That's a hell of an idea. Maybe we should live stream on Sunday for the end of the world, just in case the shit hits us. That's a hell of an idea. Thank you. Maybe. All right. So as we finish this, there's a lot to say, but thankfully, God willing, we'll be back on Friday for sure. We do Tuesdays, we do Fridays, 8 Pacific, 11 Eastern, and yeah, hopefully we talk about some interesting things. So we'll be back on Friday, and that's what we do. Well, that's what we do. You guys are the best. Thanks for hanging out. One more time, you're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange. Thanks for listening. We'll be back Friday, and from our troubled minds to yours, have a great night.